Still, because that's a smart idea.
All right. Hello, everyone. There's no one out there watching, but I would still greet you as hello, everyone.
You put it on YouTube, right?
It does go on YouTube, yes. We're back here with more Shadowborn before. We have another new face. We have Ashley joining us today. And unfortunately, it looks like Brandon and Dustin have taken a seat, but they will be back hopefully next time. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right in because we got some fun stuff planned. Well, I have some fun stuff. So anyway, to recap of what happened last time, the group went in and they found the Knuckle, and Lord Dardar was very happy. But they went in and fought some very cruel and nasty things, which caused them to retreat temporarily. And so here they are outside of the Knuckle. And as they are making camp, a group of 2 members start trudging down from a slope above. And this is where they meet Belazar and the Avenue of Destruction. Yes, you would see them.
I would stealth because I don't know who they are, and that's just me.
Yeah. You are not that stealthy.
So are we traveling together? Like,
yes.
Do we already know each other?
Yep, you would already know each other.
Then
So you two
work together, just traveling the mountains, living together.
You see a group of 4 members making camp.
Do they roll perception?
Well, they would see your barbarian and your wizard.
Right, but they see me.
Okay, they see maybe a group of 3.
Perception wise.
No, you roll higher than what I got total.
Yeah, I did. The die, it was a 20, so.
Oh, yeah.
So I definitely see that you're there. You think you're hidden.
I tried to quickly hop in the bush.
Just see his, like, Kenku feathers sticking out.
And, like, I just see you staring at me. Ah, fuck.
This didn't go as planned. Dardar would shout out to you. By my beard, who goes up there?
It is I, the Avenue of Destruction.
What business do you have in my mountain?
It's traveling. It's a killer.
I can agree with that. Traveling is especially with these oafs, is quite difficult.
Oof.
It's a ragtag looking group over here.
Maxwell is hurt by that comment.
But he probably would understand where he comes from.
As I point to Dustin's character, oof.
What business do you have here? Besides traveling, of course.
Adventure. We seek great adventure in these mountains here.
Well, then perchance you would like to join our little group. We are relieving control of my mountain here, of my mine, and we seem to be coming to some trouble.
I roll my eyes heavily.
Well, you did come into some trouble.
No, the relieving part.
I'm very happy that we were actually able to find it, and any assistance that you can give us would be most welcome.
Is anybody hurt?
Yeah, this would be like pretty much right after you left, so pretty much the entire party is very wounded.
So you said we slept, so I erased it.
Yeah.
How much hit points you got left?
I had 1 before we slept, so.
Okay, so if we're at that point, I'll
Maxwell was just.
I'll walk over.
Destroyed.
I'll walk over to the bird in the bush.
I put my fist up.
I'll just stick my hand in there, and then I will cast Cure Wounds on him.
As I'm about to strike back.
I gotta look up what that healing, how much healing that is.
Sure. But anyway, Lord Dardar, the man speaking to you, says that the plan is to rest for tonight, so you can join our camp if you wish, and if you do not, you can go on with your travels.
Donut.
Cure wounds is
I cannot find. There it is. I got it. It's 1d8 plus your spell modifier. So.
Per spell level, so if you obviously cast that out of your spell slot.
Well, since we're all gonna be resting, I might get it back anyway. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
So I do. So
7.
I mean, he's a fully heal anyway, so it don't matter.
Yes.
It's more a storyline effect.
He's a gentle, caring lizard.
what is your race?
Dragonborn.
Okay, so you're tall.
I went from one lizard-like
I go-
creature to another.
I know.
I go. How tall is fucking maximum? 5 foot. How tall are you?
5'8".
Oh, okay. So you're not that much taller than me.
Puny little
With just a little bit of a height difference on me, I like put my arm around your shoulder.
Cornelius is just shaking his head. As he always does to your antics.
I can just hear Cornelius and say, "You are far too friendly with strangers."
We're gonna end up getting in someone's van. Little bird.
Little bird, you will be
Is there
dinner.
gold in this man?
Yeah, little chocolate coins. Little chocolate candies. Anyway, you proceed to rest.
That's a good idea. Is there chocolate in D&D? Couldn't make a business of selling chocolate gold coins.
They're gonna call it the Chocolate Crow.
Yeah.
You would have to find cocoa, and then you'd have to experiment with recipes until you find something that's actually tastes somewhat
If
good.
only we had a druid.
It would take you a little while, but it might be possible.
Yo, that could be money though.
It could be money. Anyway, did you guys wish to discuss anything before resting?
We wish I would
I don't know. I'm just kind of
make camp.
yeah. I'm just tagging along with her right now, kind of keeping her alive, and
Cool.
Maxwell's tired.
her character just kind of interests me.
And your character is...
I'm a Goliath.
So
Right.
she's towering over you.
A 7'5", 315-pound Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Very
can't even
high.
reach that high with your
Good
little burger wings.
Goes and does it, just slaps her on the head.
2 feet
Good
difference.
game.
I'd probably walk behind it just like...
It's a good shield.
I am wearing pants.
That's what my face says. It's literally my face says, good meat shield.
The only thing from behind me you see is the feathers.
It's like, she has a feather tail now.
You rest the night and you wake early to the sounds of screaming.
Great.
You instantly, not you two, but Mr. Bird Maxwell here, instantly recognizes it as the bellows of your friend Morik. As he exclaims, "I'm out of ale! I cannot go any further without ale! We must go back!" Cornelius trying to calm him down.
No way.
He instructs that his plan is to go back to Horn's Hook, resupply, and come back up. Of course, Darder is very unhappy with this and says he will stay here for the time being and wait for your return to assist him.
Dardardines.
Dumb.
What's dumb?
This man wants to die. He's got a death wish.
He's not going to go inside.
He tried killing himself last session.
He didn't kill himself.
He tried.
What do you mean he tried? He did more work than the barbarian did.
That's true. I'm still there fighting 2 dudes and the barbarian can't kill one.
Yeah.
Down to 1 hit point, have to withdraw and shoot him with a bow.
Yeah, the monk shooting with a bow. It was pretty funny. It was pretty comical.
I was down though in my last just...
Yeah, they were definitely kicking you. But anyway, so you decide to head back. Cornelius wishes to return as well. He definitely doesn't want to camp outside. He's not into that kind of thing. Before you can even really break camp, the barbarian is already marching down the slopes with what gear he can carry. So you will have to catch up with him. Darter does give you a map, though, of the mountains as best he can, and instructs you to, return shortly. If you don't return within 5 days, I'm going to be headed back to Horns Hook, and look for you or look for someone else to help me, because he's has a purpose and wants to get his goal done. So that's his reasoning, or so you think. So anyway,
How long did it take us to get from Hornshook up to
it took you about 2 days.
2 days.
So we got about days to do other stuff.
He doesn't say he understands the travel time, so he's actually going to give you more like a week. So he's going to give you 5 days of
He's just
Oh,
sounding,
gotcha.
yeah, he's just sounding impatient.
Yeah, he just wants to get things
Yeah.
moving. So anyway, you guys are marching down the mountain, and Cornelius and Morik are booking it. Well, not to really Cornelius's like. He's kind of getting dragged along like usual. But the three of you are kind of in the rear because you needed to get the rest of the camp put together. Mm-hmm. And before long, you come to the fork, which led to the knuckle, and you hear the sounds of movement and drums and horns and the like coming from the other path, and it sounds like they are coming closer.
Is there anything that we can hide behind?
No, this is like a valley with 3 different routes. One of them will lead you back to Hornshook, one of them leads you to the knuckle, and the other one, the party kind of deduced that it led to a goblin warren.
So, does this one sound like it leads to where the goblin?
Yes.
And we're not in the forest right now? This is the valley. Okay, I thought we said it was a forest.
You're in the mountains, so there are trees and the like, but mainly it's you've now come between 2 or 3 mountains. They've come into this big valley. One of them goes to as I described.
With us traveling this area for a while, would we know anything about this like goblin encampment? Or?
No, you would have been on the other side of the mountains. So this is all new to you. You would have encountered goblins before,
Right?
but you wouldn't know of these sort of goblins.
As I'm sitting there, thinking really hard, trying to remember the conversation we had back here. Goblins.
And as you say it, it's almost like at command, out from the edge of the clearing that you can see, marches a row of goblins towards you.
A row.
Shit.
Yeah. Can we see how many there are in this row? Or
Yes, you can try to hide. I mean, there are some rocks, and like you can try to just like get down to the ground if you want. But seeing this, Cornelius and Morik, to Morik's displeasure, Cornelius kind of pushes him along, and they kind of leave you in the middle of this valley as these goblins approach.
You guys got this right. Thanks.
Yeah.
See you later.
More or less something about I don't have time for this. Some time pun.
Do we want to follow them, or do we want to see what this is about?
I'm looking to you guys.
Why?
Hey, you're the tank of the group.
Are you guys
Not
just
knowing how many
standing up?
there are.
Are you guys just kind of standing up?
I'm
over
gonna-
there or trying to hide.
I'm gonna try to hide.
I'm gonna try that. Woo! was a 20.
Stealth.
You got a natural 20?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Very nice.
I got a 17.
Yeah, you
18.
all are able to very easily. Luckily for you, there's a large enough rock for the three of you to hide behind, and you're able to kind of converse your plan. But even though you have the rock, you can't, without exposing yourself, you can't see how many are amassing. But you do hear the sounds of more and more feet coming your way.
I just had like this Lord of the Rings feeling when they're using that elven cloak to hide, and all the Urks and everything are marching right by them.
Keep on walking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just let them walk on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Not knowing
just
how
getting
many
ready to
there
fight
are.
if they see us.
Sure. It does seem like they would be. They have seen your friend, and they would be pursuing your friends if you let them pass. Well, not your friends, but your friends.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to instigate anything unless he ends up doing that because of that reason.
We'll see what happens.
You just gonna let him keep going by?
I'm looking for that sneak attack.
That would be like the very end of the line.
Sure. It looks like it's as they walk by your rock, far enough away for you to like kind of maneuver yourself, and you are able to peek out once they're passing, and it looks like just a line of 8 goblins with a larger looking goblin kind of leading the way.
How,
And it looks like their pace is starting to quicken as they are catching up on Cornelius and Morik.
how spaced out are they in the line from each other?
It looks like they're in groups of 4, so 4 and 4, and then the leader is kind of in the middle.
Okay.
And they're on the other side of the rock of you now. You see them turning.
So they're in a line wide, not long?
I don't feel like
No,
they
they're in like a column.
I don't feel like those two can outrun a bunch of goblins.
Most likely not. No, they move 30 feet. So I mean, maybe the barbarian could. But
How
not
close
the
are they
wizard.
from us?
They're just on the other side of the rock. So maybe 20 feet away.
Okay, yeah. What are you doing?
I'm hopping out to strike. As that last group passes.
Sure. All right.
I'll be doing the same with my dragon breath weapon to hit like as many of them as I can in one go.
Nice.
Just give me 1 second to find whether it's a line or a cone
It's a cone.
for the lightning.
It's still a cone.
No, it's a line.
Well, that's dumb.
It's a 30-foot line. A 5-foot line, 30 feet long.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cone would be if I was.
Pretty much everyone else.
Oh, lightning is always line. They don't have a lightning cone.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So you want to do your attack first since you said yours first, or
Doesn't matter. I mean, if we're having it at the same time.
because I'm going for the group that's like, or how many I can hit within that cone. Rather than if you maybe wanted to target somebody past that cone line.
No, I'm taking out the bad group. That way we don't get surrounded.
Okay. So.
So yeah, you guys can go ahead and do your attacks simultaneously.
Well, for them, it's just a save.
Okay.
Which is going to be it's going to be a Constitution save for them. 8 plus 2 plus, or no. Okay. Yeah.
Of what?
It's a 12 DC. Constitution
Okay,
save.
only one of them was able to save.
Okay, so then that one.
Half, right?
Are you shitting me?
Whoa!
He didn't want to hurt them. He felt sorry.
You just wanted to tickle
Oh
them.
my god. Well, the ones that didn't save takes 2 damage. The one that did takes 1.
Good job. Oh man.
There's like a burp in there. It was like foos.
Surprise round in D&D is a turn or just one attack?
Oh, I just want to attack. I mean, you can do what you got to do.
Holy cow.
So 22 to the most furthest back goblin.
That'll definitely hit.
He's gonna. He died because of my breath. That's what it was. It's the one that
9.
didn't save.
Yeah, you're able to like punch his head off.
Quarterstaff him.
D20 plus 14.
Yeah, you just like bat
Baseball,
swing it.
fucking
So
swing.
for you, if you're doing this as well, and this requires right
As
here,
as I do that, just
D20
like
plus 6.
lightning shoots by. Just like
Well, since you two have.
You take the same group as he did, correct?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty awesome explanation of what happened. You like jump out, swing, a head explodes to your quarterstaff, and then just lightning goes through your legs. But the
I connect with the head, which pulls me off the ground.
yeah. Are you also joining?
I am
the...
also attacking.
Awesome.
Since they have done nothing
Natural
to...
20. Both your first rolls are natural 20s.
It was a natural 20.
Very nice. So for that, you roll damage. You roll double the normal dice of damage.
So you're gonna roll 4 successes.
And what weapon are you using?
She's using a
Long
great
sword.
sword.
Oh, great sword. Excuse me.
Longsword is a one-handed weapon versus a
10,
greatsword
19.
is 2.
19 plus the 4.
Oh, yep.
Twice.
Yep, so that's plus 8. So 19 plus 8, 27 damage.
Yep.
So yeah, you're able to cleave through this poor goblin who
Oh my god!
who had 5 health. And you just eviscerate, cleave right through his body.
A bit of an
I'm
overkill.
really disappointed that I rolled like 2 damage and they only have like 5 hit points.
Little overkill.
The 2 goblins that were engaging with you quickly disengage with you and move behind their comrades who have kind of created like a phalanx wall. And the commander goes to the end of it and starts blowing on his horn, which is deafening in this valley.
Oh yeah.
The 2 in the back will shoot at you. They're going to shoot at the Goliath since they saw their friend get exploded. What's your AC?
There's just like nothing left. What's your AC?
16.
Right, you are hit only once with a short bow, and you will be dealt 1d6, 5 damage, 5 piercing damage. The other goes long. The commander, after blowing his horn, also pulls out a longbow, and he aims for the Kenku
He
because
can blow his horn and shoot in the same turn?
he sure can.
Bullshit.
Apparently he's got 3 hands.
And you take
He beat an 18?
4 damage. I rolled a 19. So
Nice. 4 damage?
4 damage. Piercing. And then it is your go. Actually, we can roll for initiative now.
I got a
That
20.
makes more sense.
17.
13.
Ooh.
And you rolled a what?
I rolled a 17, but I got 20.
Okay. So then you go first.
Alrighty, so there 2 are dead then. How many are left cluttered? Is it 2 from the same group?
So they've now kind of made like a line in front of you. There's 3 of them, or there's 4 of them with shields and scimitar kind of sitting there. And then there's the commander sitting behind on the left, shooting his bow at you, and then there's 2 other goblins behind shooting bows at you.
Okay.
So if I were to represent it with some miniatures,
Yeah, that would actually be awesome.
I'm an idiot.
I like those.
one of the few races I don't have is orcs and goblins. So I actually don't have any orcs and goblins in miniatures, so I'm forced to use my Skellymans. That's okay. They work just as well. So they're in like a tight formation.
Oh, they're in a tight formation.
They're in like a tight line towards you, and you're.
So
standing
how many
here.
would you say are?
And then there's 2 behind.
Are they like 2 and a 5 foot?
No, they're. It's not like super tight. I guess these are 10 feet back, shooting over, and then there's just 20 feet wide.
Okay,
They
so like
take up
each
a-
one's like
Yeah.
is a 5 foot.
Yep.
So, where are we in proximity to them?
Well, they kind
this group.
of disengaged, so you're probably right about here. So
Okay.
I'm gonna.
So
just
we could got
use
just
your
enough
snack.
room to get like a 30-foot movement up to him.
Oh, you don't even need 30 feet.
Okay.
Oh,
That is.
you can replace your miniature. Look at you, Mr. Fancy.
Yo, that's like a $30 miniature. I'm using it.
Right? Why not? Let me go get the mat that I put away. Nobody's not from Tech. So I'm just using these for them,
Yeah.
Nick, if you don't mind borrowing. My mat's all creased. I dislike it. There. So you guys beat up the back guys and did your little show back there. So that is where we shall go. If you want to move your books, I can kind of slide it towards you. So it's not so far and you can... Well, at least the feet can. Poor Ashley's over there. Stretched to the limit.
So is this how we're set up like this?
Yeah, or wherever you want in that close proximity to there.
Sit line on line action right there. Well, if that's the case, then I think who's the head guy in
The
this
guy
group?
blowing his horn is the head guy.
Alright, well then what I want to do is if I do there I'll get provoked 2 attacks.
I mean, in D&D, you only provoke if somebody has that.
If you move through a provoke. If you move through. If you move up, you don't provoke.
I'm going taking my full movement to go right there.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. So it would hit. The only one that wouldn't get hit by what I'm doing is the leader. I'm going to use Thunder Wave.
Oh.
Okay.
Which a 15-foot cube that originates from where I'm standing. Everybody makes a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, they take half of 2d8 thunder damage.
Yep, so it's a cube.
And
So-
I'm going to go ahead and use my Channel Divinity right away to max it out. So
Oh.
16 on a failed save, half.
Okay. So anyway, it's a cube. So you need to, starting with your corner, you go out 3.
So 1, 2, 3,
And then, yeah, so that...
3. So
No, it would. If you're going to go that direction, then you would need to go. This
because it
direction.
says a wave sweeps. Oh, out from it. Okay, yep, you're right. So yeah, I'd want to go this direction with it. So
So if you're going to do that, you can hit 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3. So you'd hit these 4. The middle.
okay, I got you. Yeah, yep. That works for me too.
Okay. So they need to make a successful save, eh?
Yep. Otherwise, I'll end up taking 8.
If they
Well,
pass
8 on a
the-
8 on a save, 16 on a
Okay, and what do they need to roll?
Constitution save. So
Oh,
I got to
12.
be 12. Yep.
Okay. Only one failed.
Okay,
So he's going to get roasted. He is completely obliterated. Shocked. The rest of them take a lot of damage, but they barely are holding on there. You can tell they're pretty much on their last limbs here.
okay, and then so then they don't get pushed because they made their save. So
Yeah, so you like push that poor guy way
it just
past.
flies backwards.
Alrighty. Next we have the Avenue.
Ah.
So that's one charge.
Well, he's trying to attack all that group there.
Yeah, that's kind of what
gotta-
I'm doing is taking on.
Somebody's
them.
got to try and attack that goblin leader over there. And being that I am 7'5", kind of towers over the goblin.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Easily, they're like a foot.
I choose to attack him.
all right. So you can.
What's your movement?
What?
30. Your speed is 30.
You couldn't make it to him with one movement, so you could do a double move and then not attack for this turn, or you could move up and attack one of those two goblins on this turn.
Then I'll choose to move up and attack the 2 goblins.
There you go.
Which one do you want to attack? The one on the right is the one that took some damage from mine. The one on the left is still at full.
I will attack the one on the left.
Alrighty.
Oh.
I'm like totally...
So 10,
16.
Yeah, you hit. The poor goblin puts up his shield to try to defend himself, but it's just not enough as you bring your greatsword down upon him.
So he will your 2 damage. 2 successes, yeah.
5.
So you add the +4 to that.
Yep.
And then don't forget you can reroll ones because of your great weapon
I do.
fighting choice style.
9, 13.
Yeah, you're able to. You just break him down. The poor little standard bearer, he just can't handle it.
Toast.
Yeah. The problem with goblins, they're squishy, but they swarm like crazy.
And then Mr. Kenku.
Seeing as they have the mob done, I have 40-foot movement, so run out.
Oh.
I think that might be our tactics, is we'll take on the mob.
Quarterstaff and then punch. Well, I didn't deduce which one, so we're gonna go with the stronger attack misses. Whereas the punch is a 18.
Not enough. He brushes you aside. He brushes your punch aside, laughing at you in Goblin, saying something. You're not too sure what he said. And then they go. He quickly drops his bow and calls his friend up to assist him. This one will march forward 1. And the poor lonely guy who's hurting himself, he's not going to be too happy. So we have 1 on the avenue. What's your AC?
16.
You are hit with a little slashing scimitar for 6 damage. The Balazar is taking 2 attacks, and unfortunately he's going to be flanked. So what's your AC?
My AC is 16, but hold off on the second one.
Okay.
You can do the first one first, but hold on the second one.
Sure. The first one hits.
Okay, go ahead and do that.
5 damage.
Okay. And then at first level you can... I'd like to use my reaction,
Okay.
and I'm going to use Wrath of the Storm. So I can thunderously rebuke attackers. So when a creature within 5 feet of me that I can see hits me with an attack, use my reaction, creature makes a dexterity saving throw and takes 2d8 lightning damage on a failed throw half.
I think he failed.
Yeah, so where's my dice? There we go.
Here.
Oh, that was 2d8, wasn't it?
He's dead. He was already injured. 2d8 will finish him off.
3. Yeah, he takes 3 lightning damage. So.
Sure, and then
Did you roll 2 ones for real?
Huh?
Did you roll 2 ones for real?
No, it was 1 and a 2. I might switch my dice because they suck.
Then, in retribution, he stabs you with a scimitar for 6 damage.
The next one?
The next one.
Okay.
And
So
then
I'll take 11 then.
the Kenku is going to have to deal with the big man. He's pulling down a longsword on you. Does a...
So you can put
16.
It here, so like
No.
I did.
20.
You're lucky, because that would have hurt.
Right? Yeah.
But the goblin, his buddy, he's going to deal... Because I assume a 19 hits.
Yeah.
He's going to just deal 6 with his scimitar. You were able to block the longsword, but the scimitar just came out of nowhere.
Clearly the longsword is pretty adept, which took all my focus.
Exactly, yeah. He's not going to He's not going to let you get away with anything. Anyway, what is everyone's passive perception?
13.
14.
It's going to be 10 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is. 10.
10. 10.
Go ahead and write 10 in there.
The two of you would hear that there seems to be more footsteps coming down the mountain.
Crap.
And then it goes to Balazar.
So I'm going to disengage. And then...
Okay, so that's not a disengage. That's just a 5-foot step. So you can do that. It's just a move action.
Oh, I just didn't want to provoke attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
it's a shift. It's a... I don't know if it's in 5th edition, but I allow shifts in...
Okay, so then...
Shifts in place of movement.
Because that was a...
So then if I go here...
I'm pretty sure.
So that would
I'm pretty sure it's
convert-
called the guarded step in D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you did that, you can do a 5-foot shift.
Uh-huh.
If you do a disengage, that's your standard action. In which
Yeah,
case
I'll do the shift because I'm not wanting to... Because I'm wanting to go here.
Okay, so that'd just be a
Okay.
disengage. Yeah.
Yeah. And then...
Well, what he's saying is if you move here, that's your standard. But if you just do a 5-foot step, you can go there and still do a standard action.
Yeah. So
Oh, I
you...
see what you're saying now,
Yeah.
yeah. Should still be able... Can I hit him from... The hex is what's throwing me off with my thunder wave.
So you go in kind of like right angles. So if you did that, so you kind of like go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
So here, him and him.
If you wanted to do them, yeah, you could do them,
Yeah.
but then you're not going to get any farther.
No, that's fine. I'll just do those two.
Okay.
Using thunder wave again. So
Okay.
Constitution save.
They need to be a 12. They both succeed.
Okay. 6 damage, so
3.
yes.
All right, they're hurting.
Man, that little archer goblin's taking a lot.
Don't judge. He's next in command. What can you say?
No, that's all I was getting at. Was like the other two be killed easily. This one particularly is just putting up a fight.
Then we have the avenue.
Up
construction.
I'm gonna stay where I'm at. Those two seem to be handling it.
Yeah, you got one in front of you. Who's badly wounded.
6.
Yeah, you swing wildly, and the goblin is able to deftly get underneath you.
And she rolled a 1.
Then Mr. Kenku, you're
I'm gonna
flanked.
do a guarded step so that I'm only fighting one.
The little guy, eh? I see how it is.
I can't be fighting. I'm gonna use key point to do 3 attacks.
Jeez! What'd this guy ever do to you? Man.
Miss on the first one.
Jesus, dude.
But it doesn't matter because I missed on 2 fucking attacks. You two are out. Goodbye. That was a 13
I
plus
think I'm gonna switch my dice up too.
It's a hit.
17.
Yeah, that's it. They only have a 15. You're hit more than...
5.
Yeah, you're able to punch him or kick him or whatever you choose to do to him. He's down.
Good thing I attacked 3. Fuck, you die.
The leader will call his friend in again to try to help against you. So attacking the Goliath, I assume a 10 doesn't hit you, or a 12, that doesn't hit you. But attacking Mr. Kenku, the scimitar is going to be a 21, and the longsword is going to be a 17.
No.
Man, that's all you're worried about. It's just the longsword. You don't care about anything else.
Right?
But the scimitar does 8 damage.
8.
And you hear more... You definitely now, all 3 of you, hear the sound of footsteps and horns coming from behind you. It sounds like it's around this size, or if not bigger.
I mean, looking back, can we not see a quick glance?
I mean, they're coming around a corner, so they're not in sight yet. Anyway, top of the order, Balazar.
So this guy's 10 feet from me, so I'm gonna attack him with my lance. I have an extra 5-foot reach with that.
You can fight with a lance on the ground?
Mm-hmm. It's two-handed if you use it on the ground, Lance. Special properties.
Oh, that's cool.
So stabbing him for attack of 15.
Against him, yeah, that's a hit.
9.
Yeah, you're able to pull this guy down. He was wounded by your lightning before.
Just stab him and fling him into the air.
Next is the Goliath.
I am going to attack the same one I'm still in front of. It's like I swung my long sword, and I'm just going to swing it on back.
There you go.
That's 20.
Can I have your dice?
No.
Natural 20 again.
Nice. All right, so that's a crit. So you roll double the amount of dice that you'd normally roll, and add double the modifier.
She should have been attacking the horn blower.
So, 12,
Yeah, you kill him.
19.
There's,
19.
I mean,
Plus your 4.
you have
20
Yeah.
more damage.
So 9 plus 8. So
Yes.
27 again.
You are very easily able to
Did I
deal
just
with this guy.
obliterate him like I did
Yes.
the last one?
And it's just, it goes down to you, Mr. Kenku.
Take that dude out.
Can you deal damage to the guy who hasn't taken any yet?
Be very careful on which die you choose to roll.
Spending that key point. Uh-oh.
Second group's gonna come
Well,
in.
I don't
What,
know.
is,
Good
what,
luck.
what does darkness do? Anybody know offhand?
It makes
You can't see in it. You can't see out of it.
Yeah.
And it's like a 20-foot.
and disadvantage obviously when you make an attack with
Yeah.
it. Dark vision does not, because it's a magical darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Dark vision just does not count.
Whatever. We're just gonna hopefully.
I would save that for the next group.
If I use key point, I can't use darkness. But I'm hoping for a retreat.
I have other things too.
Nice.
Ooh, natural 20.
Okay. So, miss. 18 for the second attack.
18's no good.
18's no good. Well, the crit. Oh, it just crit is crit.
Because it's crit. Double the dice.
8 plus 6.
Plus, don't you add strength?
That was 8 is the 4 and the 4.
Oh,
Plus 6.
yeah. 14.
14.
You deal a heavy blow to him, and he looks staggered, but he's ready to fight you for... He's going to hold out for his friends, it seems like. So he returns, and he just goes for just his longsword on you. He misses. You're used to his attacks now, so you're definitely able to easily dispatch with him. And then it goes to...
He's trying to heal us. He's trying.
Can we get like a 1d4 of like healing word or something?
I don't know what she's doing over there.
Got a tabaxi cleric sitting on the counter.
Jeez. What are you doing?
She's staying at the other one.
Yeah, something. Anyway,
Derail.
Glad we all saw
then
that.
we go to Balazar.
Alright, I'm just going to shift up 2, and you said he's looking hurt?
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and...
You're 10 feet away. If you want to move up, you can.
I can't. I'll take it with the lance. I have to fight 10 feet away with it and two-handed on the ground. Otherwise, I incur disadvantage if he's within 5 feet of me.
Okay.
That's another reason why I had bounced back too. Because if I couldn't do what I wanted to, I was just going to stab somebody.
I see.
Does a 22 hit?
Yes. Yes, it does.
4.
Another one. Yes, you're able to eliminate him. You stab him down. Even though you were weak with your attack, it was just enough to deal with him.
It's not my time to shine yet. That's all it is.
I'm just gonna tap you on the shoulder and start booking it.
Towards our fellow members that took off.
Towards town before those other goblins catch up.
As a bonus action for that turn, just in case, I'll use Healing Word on the group, which I think is I think it's the 1d.
I think you target one person with it.
Healing words 1d. One person.
Is it one person?
And I think it's a D4.
Listen, I think I got the wrong spell. Hold on. Probably.
What are you doing, Cat? Oh, you're waiting patiently, huh? It's It's almost food time for him.
If creature of your choice, you can see within range regains 1d4 plus your skeleton. Yeah, and I'm gonna look at him and do it, and use healing word on him. So I'm using it as a level.
He's got less
Level
health than I do
one, so-
right now.
3 hit points.
Total.
Yeah. He healed for 3.
Good.
All right. Yeah, you guys can run down the mountain or run away. Are you doing anything else, or are you just pretty much just?
As we go to leave, though, I grab that goblin's horn.
Okay.
I do want to grab that goblin's longbow just to take something from the battle. Scoop it up.
Okay.
I'm sure it's not too much of a.
Yeah, I mean he dropped it, so it's definitely easy to grab it. So you're able to make a athletics check. Let's see if you can make it out of there before the next group arrives.
I got an 8.
No acrobatics.
No acrobatics.
I had to ask. 15.
If I'm adding this right.
That cat's got like an evil stare at us right now.
If I'm adding this
Are you
right,
the other
22.
goblin group that's waiting to come in?
Yeah, he is. He's gonna jump on the table and come and get you. He's a Trask though.
Yep. So plus
22.
All right.
How much?
22.
Oh, I thought you said 42. I'm like, pretty sure that's impossible in 5th edition.
I'm real proficient in athletics here.
Right. He's got running shoes on.
Just athletics, or you wait through the game with the 42?
Yeah, so you're able to evade enough and get out of the line of sight to where you think they wouldn't be coming.
Mm-hmm.
You run for the next 20 minutes to ensure that you get away. But sadly, it seems you've lost your friends while retreating from the battlefield.
We know where they're headed, though.
Yeah, you know where they're going.
Yeah, hopefully, nothing happened to them along the way.
But because of your running, you also seem to be lost as well. But not. I mean, obviously, you two don't know where you're going. But Maxwell, being a little ditzy himself, he's a little lost against the trees.
Oh, that's true. We don't know that about Maxwell yet.
That's one of my flaws. Is I'm usually lost, but I do have a 4 survival, so
And this
I
is
do want to
recorded.
attempt to figure out how to get home.
Yes.
23.
Yeah, you. It must be a stroke of luck or something, but you're able to be like, oh, I know where that is.
I got a 22 to hit whatever that was that just jumped in front of us.
It doesn't hit, unfortunately. Not even half the AC.
I don't know
Go
what
get 'em.
land we're in or where we're at, but I've never seen that creature before.
Yeah, it's a new interactive miniature. It moves on itself. And as a DM, I can't actually control it. It just does what it wants.
It's the new 5.5 5th edition World Destroyer.
Right?
World Destroyer, one swipe.
You just gotta an endgame monster. Just have one of your cats on the table and put people around and.
Right, it's got
the goal would be to do enough damage before the cat swipes at one of the pieces, and if your piece gets swiped at, you're dead.
You're right. With some of the cats, that would be pretty easy. Some of them, it wouldn't be, though. Anyway, you are able to find what seems to be a road. There didn't seem to be... You don't remember any roads leading back or up in this area leading to the Knuckle.
No, leave me alone. I'm sorry.
But you nevertheless find it looks like a little goat path.
And I feel like this is gonna take us back to the.
It looks like it would lead you down the mountain, at least a little bit.
Yeah, when I get back, so I can have Cornelius do a job for me.
Right?
But first, I'm gonna take a short rest.
Alright.
I agree.
Does
We
this
should
look like a
definitely-
pretty cozy spot at least?
We should definitely make sure we get kind of our things together, especially since we don't recognize this area at all.
I mean, yeah, it's not you're just out in the open. I mean, but you're not in any immediate danger. And
Well,
yeah, you like that string, don't you, Cat? Yes, you do. But yeah, you're in a pretty good area, at least as far as you can tell.
Is it a forested area at all? Or is it just
They're
a big open plain?
No, there's some. You're in like a little bit of. You're in like a wooded mountain, so there's quite a bit of mountain around.
I'm gonna point at a spot in the forest, at which point I'm gonna climb up one of the trees and I'll rest there.
All right.
Do my short rest.
I am just going to kind of lean up against that same tree and just rest and meditate on my stuff.
Sure. Ouch.
4.
How much do you heal on the rest?
You heal D, whatever your.
It's one of your hit die, right?
Yep, one of your hit die plus Constitution. You hear while resting. You hear the sounds of horns blowing.
Did you take damage at all?
They don't.
I took 11 damage.
So, sorry.
No, it's okay.
So, you're gonna, because you had a D12, I believe, for your hit die. No, D10. So, roll a D10 plus your Constitution modifier.
You're out of here, D8.
Yeah.
You've had some real bad luck with dice today.
So, you're gonna heal 5 hit points.
Ooh, that's better than mine.
I'm so scared.
Anyway, you hear the sounds of horns, and it sounds like they're actually headed towards Horn's Hook.
Oh,
Well, they must be marching on the town.
From what you can tell, it sounds like there's 4 or 5 different groups of horns calling out and calling back to each other. But it seems like they're spreading out, but all headed towards Horn's Hook's general direction. And that's where I'll leave you. Some are there's 2
Does
groups.
that make their back bit though?
There's 2 groups that are awfully close to you. 2 groups that seem to be kind of like trailing around your position, and one going directly, from what you can guess, going directly towards Horn's Hook.
I've got the health or key points to fight 2 more groups.
Yeah.
Well, with a short rest, you should get all that back.
Oh, that's right.
Because
You're
it's
gonna
about-
key points back.
Yeah, because that's about an hour. So,
I'm gonna hop down from the tree and point at Horn's Hook on the map.
okay.
To Horn's Hook we go.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I do want to keep like a vigil eye behind us though.
Yeah.
As we progress.
You could tell that they weren't close to you. If you wanted to, you could actually try to, possibly set up an ambush for them, because they are that far away that you would have enough time to do so. But if you want to just leave and pursue towards Horn's Hook,
Yeah, actually, it's not a bad idea either. Because I can cast Sanctuary on myself, let them surround me, and then do like a thunder bomb, so to speak.
Actually gives you a thumbs up.
Just a big feather wing.
And I'm about to heavily just break neck towards town. I was just gonna rush off towards town and give him a warning.
right?
Yeah, I'll just follow him.
But if you bring that plan up in the group, I'll just give you a thumbs up, and then
I'll go off.
I'll slink off into a nearby bush so I can get my sneak attack off
Sure.
when it starts.
I don't know, what do you think?
I don't know how much of a sneak attack I can do at 7 feet.
Well, no, but you'd be able to hide, and I would be able to we'd be able to just distract them,
That sounds
so
good
to
to me.
speak. Or ambush, like you said.
I will poke you and I will show one of my wounds.
Oh,
Can I help you?
how much push you got left?
18 out of 30.
I'll use a level 1 on him. Cure wounds.
Yeah. So you guys can do whatever preparations you guys need to do.
They're coming!
She wants them. She wants those dice. It seems we have our 4th member here joining the table.
True neutral right
We have
there.
an
Attacks
avenue.
both sides.
Mostly yours because mine's behind the screen, so she can't get to them.
Oh, that's what I was looking up to see if I could use a longbow.
I don't think you can as a rogue.
Probably not.
Or not a rogue, but a monk. I don't think you can. Because that's not a
Simple
simple...
weapons and short.
Yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
so.
Longbow's a martial. Or used to be a martial, I should say. Anyway, so this goat path, clearly the goblins intended to use it. So you do see a group at the edge of your distance that are marching towards you. And you can tell that this group is around the same size, if not larger than the previous group. Hi, kitty cat.
Was there taking 10s or 20s in?
You guys can take your prep. You've been prepping for an hour to get ready for
Let's
this.
say I
I didn't know if I could get a bonus on my stuff if I had time to really hide
No,
myself.
yeah, you don't need to.
I'm actually gonna yeah, because before they get here, real quick.
Where would you guys like to be?
Let's see.
I will find a marker and draw up something.
Okay, yeah, because I'm actually gonna want to hide too and wait for them to get in the center, and then we can just.
As close as
Because
possible.
I get my breath. I forgot I get my breath weapon back too. And I'm not gonna roll double ones again.
Are you sure?
I'm freaking hoping so.
So this will be our little goat path here. We have a lot of foliage, a few tree groups here,
Bushes.
and some more trees, and it seems like it's kind of like sloping down this way.
Okay.
And then this is obviously where they're going. So
So I suggest
and
we
there's
probably get the
more
advantage
trees
of
and
high
things.
ground on them.
Yep.
So and then put us on like either side.
I don't want to be on this side.
You want to be over here?
We all hide together.
Hi, Doki Kid.
So I have a 20 or 19 on my stealth.
You guys can take as long as you need to prepare yourself for this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because
So we don't need to roll beats.
you don't need to roll because you look at it. You're helping each other. You're not rushed.
Okay.
So
Do I
by the
have
looks of it.
anything that might? I'm gonna save fog cloud for in case we need to dip out of here.
Oh, what?
Fog cloud, I can
Oh, okay.
in a 20-foot radius. I can make thick enough fog that we could probably
Twist it.
use. Yeah, to try to get away if we need to.
Oh, his arm fell off.
278.
Oh, good.
That works as an advantage to us, I guess.
I suppose.
So, if I was to... Just a question before I ever use this spell, spiritual weapon. Does its attack take place of my own attack?
I think you have to take an action to use its attack,
Okay.
from what I understand.
So yeah, it's either mine. So pretty much I can manipulate either its attack or mine.
Right.
Okay.
So that's what you see coming down the road is a column of goblins. It seems like there's 4 in the front, followed by, it looks like a leader, 8 trailing, and it seems like the last 2 are dragging along some sort of large beast, which takes up those 4 squares.
I want to, I whisper to them that we should wait for, just to see what that big ass thing in the back is.
Does it look like it's getting dragged against its own well?
It looks like it's yes, more or less. It's not like it's going along freely, but it's also not, it's not resisting too much.
Maybe we can make an ally out of whatever this thing is.
What level spell is darkness?
Level 1.
It should be.
Anyway, how far along the column would you like to wait before you spring your attack?
Darkness is a level 2. Are we able to make out what it is right now?
Not from where you are, and you can just tell something is getting dragged along by what sounds like chains or ropes.
What do you think?
I think we wait till just about the whole group passes us until probably the last maybe 2 goblins.
Okay, so
Since they're probably the ones that are dragging.
So get the jump on them at the end.
Mhm.
Maxwell's just shaking his head. Oh no. I'm out. This is not what I want to go to town.
I know, I'm debating even attacking myself because that's a lot.
If we attack at all, that's where I would wait.
Yeah,
till.
I'm gonna hold any actions until the very end, and depending on what that is.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to make any actions immediately. The group obviously gets up to you, so we'll just kind of move you down. So they get to about here. They're walking right by you. They're rather loud. I mean, it's a formation of soldiers, so they're loud. They're being drilled. They're marching. They don't hear you, and they're not really looking for you. But what's this guy's perception? Yeah, even the creature in the back is not doing anything. Upon further instruction, it looks like a large bear with what looks like a big beak instead of a normal bear mouth.
A large bear with a beak.
Mm-hmm.
And he's chained up.
And he's chained up. Like I said, he's getting kind of prodded along. He's not getting dragged, but he's just kind of meandering behind.
Kind of sounds like an owl bear. Yeah, I don't really want to mess with that.
Mm-mm.
I want to.
I'm regretting my decision now.
Of what?
Stay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let them go by. I'm not gonna.
Not gonna provoke attack.
And then, can I tell like the type of horn calls that have been blowing? Like, are they rallying points or?
It sounds like it's basic communication of like just a directional thing of like, hey, I'm here. Hey, it sounds like it's
Okay.
It's more of just like calling out to the fellow groups of goblins about where they are in the woods.
Okay. Because I was thinking maybe trying to like let them go ahead, go off a little bit to the back, blow the horn, try to get them to switch directions, and then just sneak around this way.
Redirect them away from Horse
Pretty,
Hill.
yeah. That's what I was thinking of trying to do.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't want to do that without your guys' input.
If you could redirect them away from Horn's Hook.
I'll do that as the group goes by. So I'll sneak off about, I would say, probably 2 moves worth, so like 60 feet that direction,
Okay.
and try to emulate what I would think would be a call to switch direction and go that way, and then sneak back around.
Okay. How long are you waiting from when they passed?
I'd probably say like a 2 movement turns worth, so about 60 feet after they passed.
So I mean,
After like the bear with the beak passes.
well,
that'll-
each round is only 6 seconds. So I mean, if you're only gonna wait 12 seconds, you can. Or I'm just wondering if you have
No.
if you want to wait like 5 minutes or.
Yeah, that'll probably be better. Yeah, I'll let them pass a little bit first. And then,
Sure. So yeah, you're able to stay hidden if you choose to,
yeah.
and they go by, and they don't even suspect anyone hiding in the bushes. So they are all gone, and you go do your plan. And so go ahead and make a perform check.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Perform.
17. Yeah.
Oh, cat. What are you doing? Let me see if they believe you. Okay, you get the calls out from, not the group that's in front of you, but it seems like a group behind you starts calling out, and they're giving you what sounds like long toots, like a boot, boot.
Let's see what he's doing now. So I'm going to minor illusion that same long toot in the direction he started it.
Yeah. To try to just keep pulling them away if we can, and then obviously give ourselves enough time to get the hell out of Dodge so we're not there when they get there.
Right. So after you give your long toot toot, they come back with like a sharp, like 3-prong, like a doop doop doop.
Two toots with minor illusion.
Like two long toots or two quick.
Two long toots.
Okay, so that's what he's. So you two are doing the same thing.
No, I just was catching. I was using the minor illusion because I was just copying.
He's trying to help manipulate the horn below with minor illusion.
Yeah. So I'm saying you've been blowing 2 long toots, and so that's what you want to do again, even though they responded with 3 short. Short toots back?
2 short toots. I get it, Justin.
I wish I knew what the retreat sound was. I'm just gonna blow 1 really long. Oh shit! No, I don't want to do that because that's what he did, and then a bunch more came. I think that might be good enough. So yeah, I'm gonna stop and then retreat back to the way that we had gone, and then I guess continue on to the town.
All right.
Unless you can think of something else.
No,
I'm hoping
trying to get the message to town.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, how fast are you going back to town?
Pretty fast, fast enough that we don't exhaust ourselves, but also.
So you're not resting at all? You're pretty much just going straight there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It'll probably cause us a ton of exhaustion, but
it seemed no, because you're not you're not sprinting.
okay.
So you're just traveling fast.
I didn't know how far away town was yet.
I mean, it's without rest, you're not going to be gaining any hit points back or anything like that.
Right.
But you're able to get close enough to town, and you recognize that there are no goblins surrounding it. There's nothing around Horn's Hook as far as enemies. So to your knowledge, it sounds like what you did something to the goblins in the effect of they are not swarming this village.
Glad I stole that goblin's horn.
There is at a quick glance you can tell Horn's Hook wouldn't have been hurt too terribly, as they do have a light palisade wall around the outside.
Okay.
And it looks like a singular gatehouse on either side of town, which allows passage through. So the gates, though, are closed as you arrive. And a little dwarf peeks up overhead and calls down to you.
I'm just going to wave up.
You guys picked an awfully great time to come into town. Goblins in those hills.
Goblins.
I just hold up a goblin horn.
It's like, oh, so you're the one making all that racket. We thought there was goblins coming.
There are. We tried to lure them away.
Yeah, they do this every couple of years. It's rather annoying, actually. But they want they want this town, I guess. So not sure why, but if you'd like, you may come on in. And he starts raising the gate.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as you are not goblins, he allows you to enter.
I'm gonna look for Cornelius.
So going to the inn, which was, if I recall, did I write it down? The Broken Wheelbarrow. I did write it down. Look at me being all responsible. I'm such a good DM. Oh my god. Remembering to write things down. It doesn't look like there's any sign of Dustin, or not Dustin, but Morik or Cornelius.
Who is this Dustin?
Dustin's character.
I'm going to go into the inn and inquire about Cornelius. Just walk over to the bar. Cornelius?
After you say Cornelius, the bartender kind of looks at you, recognizes what group you're from, and quickly starts calling people. He doesn't even hear you say Cornelius, or doesn't even pay attention to you saying Cornelius, and starts ushering, like trying to get you to leave his bar, as he knows you bring trouble.
How much was the barrel that Dustin just walked off with worth?
Probably about like 3 gold.
What was the guy's name? It's Cornelius and
Morik. Morrik.
I enter the tavern and just rush right by him like I don't even know him, and then go sit at the bar.
Okay, you're able to. I mean, the people in this.
Sorry.
Yeah, he takes your gold and he stops ushering you out,
Cornelius?
Thank you.
and he begrudgingly lets you sit.
I was gonna say, I'm sitting down. I don't know this dude.
As the dust kind of settles, the bartender sees the 2 new members of your party and says, "Where do you get these people?"
The darkness.
That doesn't help you.
That's it. Get out.
No, I haven't seen you or your friends since you left.
I wonder if they even made it back to town.
I'm gonna give the bartender a thumbs up and walk out. I'm gonna start looking for him.
Search the town.
Sure.
Take a little look around the town.
Sure. The town isn't...
Go to the shops.
Yeah, isn't very large. Most of the shops, as you can tell, are actually abandoned right now. It seems most of the people are actually going towards the walls, preparing, if they are in their shops, they're crafting hasty fortifications or, any last-minute preparations. It seems this town is pretty used to getting invaded. It sounds like it's a pretty bi-yearly or yearly event which happens. Some of them even seem to be taking joy in the occasion by making bets with one another, and so it doesn't seem like it's a serious thing.
This is all too common for them.
Yeah, it's just something that they're used to, and some enjoy it. Some are more stoic, quiet, preparing themselves. But the younger ones, for instance, are all too giddy at the possibility of getting into combat.
Well, I'm not sure as to whether or not I was completely successful in deterring it. So I'm gonna just start helping whoever needs help with.
Sure.
Yep.
Anyone who you try to help, even with a successful charisma check, pretty much will avoid you two in particular. Even you're more welcomed here because you've already been here. But you two, they, being superstitious or just cautious, they kind of try to distance themselves from creatures who they've never seen before.
Okay.
So, unfortunately for you.
Who was the important guy that the guard captain that me, Cornelius, and Morik talked to when we came in?
You didn't talk to a guard captain. You just talked to a shop person. But
okay, we didn't talk to, that was the other town we talked to the guard.
correct. For this one, though, you are actually approached by the captain of the guard, and he asks you your intentions for the town, and if you intend to sit idly by, he asks you to leave.
No, I explained to him that we had, based off of our findings, that it looks like large amounts of groups of goblins that are coordinating their way through the valley, and that we did take out a smaller group, and then the consecutive horn blowing was us trying to hopefully lure some of them away, and then we wanted to make sure that we got here before any issues had aroused.
He kind of listens to you, and then after listening to you, he has a really large, concerned look on his face. Not large, but a big look of concern, and he asks you to follow him without giving too much explanation.
I will do so with Sanctuary at the ready, just in case.
Okay. You two?
I don't know how long I'd be running around looking for Cornelius.
Okay, so
I'm just trying to get him so I can give him my help and have him work on it. But it doesn't seem like I can find Cornelius, so eventually I'm going to attempt to find them again. But, I mean, you can decide when I find them again or not.
Right. And you're just going along?
I'm going along with him, being that we had been traveling through the mountains together. Don't want to lose sight of my traveling partner.
Yeah. So he kind of leads you, and he leads you to this man dressed in this very ornate armor. It's a man, not a dwarf, which is maybe odd to you, knowing the demographic of the area.
Are you saying I found them?
Yeah, you would catch up with them. I mean, it's not that hard to see a Goliath and a Dragonborn marching through town.
See, you guys would just see your Kenku friend running over. Just disappointed.
I tap on my shoulders for him to climb up.
He's
Your shoulders? You're not
5 foot.
You're not that tall. It would be more like my shoulders.
I figured he's full of feathers. He's probably lightweight.
You know what? When he does that, I go to acrobatics and stand on his shoulders and pretend I'm a bird.
I can fly.
Right. He actually can't fly, and he's very conscious.
17.
Self-conscious about that.
I know he is.
Yeah, you're able to flip up, and you're able to stay perched for at least a little while before having to hop off from being an unstable balance.
Having to use my tail propped on the ground and just kind of walk a little bit forward.
Right.
I didn't expect that.
The man sees your antics and kind of shakes his head before going back to some maps. And once you've calmed down, he kind of looks you over and says, "My lieutenant tells me you have some information about these attacks."
Pretty much just repeat
I will pull the map out, and I will point at the goat trail. Mm-hmm. Goblins. And then, do I have a general idea of where the other goblins were?
Make a history check, I guess, or a nature check.
He's lost, but he knows where everything
survival
is at the same
check?
time.
Survival?
I'll let you make a survival check.
I can assist him with that too. Traveling a lot. I got a 21. What'd you roll?
So,
jeez.
Between the two of you, you're able to kind of.
I kind of put it in the general areas, and then you're like,
Bear.
You are able to convey your message to him of it being there's a few groups going, and he kind of looks at you with disbelief and says, "How do I know what you say is truthful?"
I put one of the goblins' longbow on the table.
And then I hand him the goblin horn. Well, it looked long on the character. So I hand it to him, just say that this is from the small group that we took out. We just took it thinking it might be helpful. And I just give it to him.
Yeah.
I don't need it.
He's quiet for a bit and looks at the maps again, looks down, looks up. And he kind of just blurts out, "This is very uncharacteristic of these goblins. Usually, as long as I've been here, I have not seen them assault in any kind of coordination. This may be more troublesome than what we expected."
Goblins.
Just to make sure that I do mention that it wasn't just goblins, but we saw that they were. I described the bear-like creature with like a beak that was in tow with the large company we saw.
Yeah.
Bear with beak, scary.
That's even that puts even more worry on his face, as they've never used those type of things prior. And he says, I fear I might be out of my element here, and I do not know what to do.
Kill goblins.
Yeah, I can help.
Kill goblins.
Yeah, we'll help. I can help take care of those that get injured. This one here is a walking meat stick.
He gives a chuckle. I'm glad you are able to find humor.
I can't do the voice right now with my cold. I keep screwing it up. But yeah.
Would you perhaps, for maybe some gold or some coin, be able to go and perhaps scout out their movements? Like I said, this is a whole new thing for us here in Hornshook. They've never attacked in these type of numbers and these type of guideline. And we need all the assistance we can get.
Sure.
Scout. Where are we?
You're in what looks like their command tent that they've set up near the outside of the wall towards the mountain. He's got a whole bunch of maps, and there's people up on top of the small palisade. The palisade can only hold like one person up on top in like an area at a time, just because it's not.
I'm gonna usher him forward with me to look out the tent.
Okay.
Scout, yes. Come back. Barricade.
I hate charades.
And then show me like I'm gonna like pretend like I'm behind something.
Yes,
Plan.
that is the normal tactic that we're able to use, is hide behind our wall, put enough arrows and fight what we need to. I mean, we're not soldiers here, it's just the town, so we will do our best. Obviously, I have my soldiers, but we have specific jobs here in town which need to be upheld.
Is oil a thing in this setting?
Yeah, there's oil. I mean, there's like lamp oil and
Say they can maybe
So,
set up.
I'm gonna think back to when I was running around in town. Oil traps. Fire.
he points to the palisade of it being all wood.
Trail.
I mean, we can put some oil out in the trail, but he points again to the trees of the forest right outside of town.
We're gonna cause a
Do
massive
you
fire.
want to start a wildfire?
Are they that close to the trail to get to town?
I mean, there's maybe like a break of 20 feet between the edge of the wood and the edge of town. So you could put some oil traps there, but depending on how close you put it to one or the other, you may cause some burning.
Some burning, but I'm not going to burn the forest down.
It depends on how much oil you use. I mean, you assume this is again, this is spring, so everything's kind of in full bloom. There's lots of leaves, luckily it's not fall, so it's not arid, but there's lots of things that could burn.
If anything, maybe suggest an ambush this time.
Yes, that's
where they can let them all in, and then somehow close the gates on them inside, and then be able to kind of maybe divvy up traps around town or something like that. And because to me, it seems like they're going to come from all different angles because it wasn't just one massive group; they were all scattered. So
right, he kind of he doesn't like that plan, being that Hornhook is so small.
Mm-hmm.
He says he'll consider it and he'll try to draft something up that might work, but he says let's keep that as a plan B. That may not be the best. But going back to the scouting, we will pay you if you can go out, gather information, fight if you feel it is necessary, and then report back to us. We're really going to be relying on your eyes and your insight, which will really lead to the decisions of this town. So please take that stock into account and try to provide us with most.
How far away do I feel like these goblins are right now?
Well, it's late in the day. It sounds like they are far enough away. It sounds like they're traveling not quick, but they're not going super slow either. They're going at a normal pace, so they're not rushing.
Do I feel like they might stop for camp before attacking?
Definitely.
Possibly a night attack?
That's up to you three. But he, without giving you too much notice, he says, if you don't need anything else, please report back within 12 hours, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I suppose we can do that.
I'm gonna go to the wall and see what I see from the wall.
Okay, so like I said, the wall surrounds the town. It's not a real strong palisade, and there's only every maybe 20 feet there's a spot where someone could sit up there and perform actions or do things. So you can't just line the walls with people. And they, outside of town, the closest the woods comes to the place is 20 feet. The farthest away it is maybe 40 feet. But in those areas, it's a lot of rocks and things like that. It kind of ropes around, and the road kind of goes directly through town on down towards Vastwald and the other towns of the area. All the buildings are pretty much inside. Like I said, the village isn't that large. There's a lot of industrial buildings and a lot of industry, and there's the few houses to house all these people. But for the most part, there's only maybe 200 people normally, maybe 250 with all the travelers. So there's not that many people.
This tent that the guard captain was in, was there cots and stuff to sleep on?
There's a little chair for him to sit in. There's not really a cot though to sleep in. It seems very hastily put up. It's got his maps. It's got his books. It's got a chair, a small, two barrels and a piece of wood for a desk. Nothing really fancy or ornate. Or ornate, I should say.
I just suggest for now, really all we can do is just go and scout out that area.
Sounds good to me.
Rest. Scout at night.
Oh, that's what you were getting at. Okay.
It's dusk now, so I mean you could do another short rest,
Yeah, that
Go
would.
out.
I'm sure that would top us off enough. Get everything back. We'll pretty much be fully healed. Give or take a point or two, depending on how I roll.
You've been rolling a lot of ones.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh, look at that.
You- That's
called
alright.
it.
Between my con, though, it just puts me at
I'm
max
only
health.
down 4, and I have all my key points right now.
So. What's your HP at?
26 out of 30.
Yeah, well, I assume maybe during this whole conversation we're having would be considered our rest. DM's discretion, that is.
Yeah, I mean, you if you want to do anything else, you can.
So it's gonna
But like
be
I said,
10
the,
plus your con mod.
I'm rolling the wrong one.
Ah, okay.
Something I asked.
Dark vision was 8 hours, so I am actually going to use 2 of my key points to cast dark vision.
Because it lasts for like, what, 4 hours?
8, was what I looked at.
Okay, that's
So
fine.
why are you casting dark vision?
Because you're going out into the night.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're casting
Yeah.
spell dark to give yourself dark vision.
His
Yeah.
key points, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using 2 of my key points, knowing that we're gonna rest. You guys see my eyes light up.
Mm-hmm. Then at the same time,
And then
because of that,
Rest.
I will use aid before we do our rest, which gives everybody 5 current HP and 5 maximum HP for 8 hours.
Cool.
So you go up 5 HP for 8 hours. So don't erase your max. Just write like temporary hit points.
Yeah.
Just write like 40 because that's what you'd be at.
So anyway, it sounds like you guys are going to be going out into the night. So as you strike out into town, there's
Instead of the 29.
3 major directions where you can remember where the goblins may be marching. There's one pretty much straight ahead. There was the group to the right, and then there was what sounded like 2 groups to the left. So 2 groups center, 2 groups left, 1 group right. Which way would you like to scout?
Which way did that really big group with the
That was the center. That's where you kind of came down.
Well, we kind of have a gist of what they have based off their knowledge. I suggest that we check out one of the other ones to see if they might have something else.
I suggest we check out the bigger of the 2 groups.
Okay, bigger of the 2 groups. So
you, from what you
Bigger
can,
of one of the 2 new groups you haven't seen yet.
so that would be the one to the left.
yeah, so we'll check out that one because I figured if they might have something else that group didn't, that we don't really need to scout them out if we've already seen what they potentially have.
Sure. Well, as you guys head out, now is a good time for us to take a short break. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back, and we're going to go scout out some goblins. So stay tuned. Alright, and we're back. You guys leave and it's nightfall. You're heading towards the unknown group of 2. You suspect that they're to the left ahead of you, which would be to the northwest. And
Call me rebels.
there's just hills and forest ahead of you. It seems like they are done calling out for the night. It seems like they may have made camp.
Did he give me the horn back, by the way? Or does the guard still have it?
The guard still has it, unless you want it back.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah, I'll ask for it before we leave, just in case.
Yeah, he gives it to you. He says, I have no use for this. And then the...
Taking my longbow back. Maybe I can get some currency for it.
That's fine. So you have 2 bows on your back now? You have a longbow and a short bow?
This is like a cross pattern.
I actually want to try to just like sell it to a merchant on the way out of town.
Again, there's none of everyone's pretty much in battle mode now, so there's not really anyone doing any merchancy or selling any things. One of the dwarves asks if they can use it for the fight, and when you try to like get money for it, they're like, oh no.
Nah, just give it to him.
Okay, he takes it. I mean, it is of goblin make, so he kind of like looks at it like, I'm not gonna pay for this.
Hey, I tried.
Yeah, right.
Well, there you go. You put a goblin longbow.
What was I going to ask? Oh, the town. How many entrances to the town are there?
There's 2 gatehouses. There's one on the east side of town and one on the west side of town. The road passes pretty much right through.
So, the east is where we came in from.
Correct.
And there was that one big double group coming at it.
So
Or
I've
was that
kind
considered one group?
of like sketched out what you think might have be. So there's 2 coming straight down, 2 coming on the right, or on the right, 1 on the left.
So it would look like those 2 might be trying to go to the other side.
As far as you can tell, yeah. I mean, without scouting, that's the directions, the general directions where you heard horn blasts. So
Yeah, but without scouting further, if they were all coming at that one gate, they were probably coming at it.
Yeah.
You'd think. So
I mean,
it
you would
looks
think,
like they're going around. That's all it looks like right now.
Without going and scouting ahead,
Yes.
it's hard to tell.
Oh, that's what it looks like to me. So.
Right, but I mean that's what I was assuming too. Is that it looked like they were going to flank all around the town and.
I'm assuming until we scout further.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't like onions, so this is how I get around onions.
It is easy to find kind of where the groups are as their gray smoke hits the horizon in the black sky, so you're able to kind of pick it out, and you also see the trees are lighter in some areas as they've made camp. Mm-hmm. To the left, there seems to be, after traveling for about 2 hours into the night, you see there is a group closer to town, and there's a group still up in the mountains a little bit.
Can we make out? So we can only make this out by the fact of the smoke right now.
Yeah, you see like two different groups of smoke.
Okay.
One on the little lower, closer to town. One still up in the mountains a bit.
How out of the way would it be if we were to kind of just scout out the one that's really close real quick? Would it be for us to then afterwards go to the other one?
Yeah, you can definitely do both in the same night if your plan is to only look and not interact.
Yeah.
If you plan on interacting, you may not be able to do both.
I wanted to scout this area, and then I wanted to see if we couldn't attack the one group by itself to the right before coming back.
So scout this group that's closer to town. If it looks attackable enough, do so.
No, I'm talking about the one that was by itself for sure.
Oh, the one we know that's just one group?
If you want to draw on the map where draw your kind of battle plan, how you guys need to, or what.
I'm gonna let you.
Not really draw it out. Just kind of like it seems you guys are having a little bit of miscommunication.
If there's a group here, in the closer to town.
Yep.
And there's a group over here in the mountains.
Yep.
And then there's a group all the way over here somewhere.
Yep. And then there's 2 groups in the center. You encountered one, and there was another one close by.
So
that you
1,
definitely
1,
got.
2.
What I wanted to do initially was come over, scout these guys, and then go over here, scout the one to the right, and attack that group.
But, I see what you're saying. But I don't think we'd be able to do all that in one night. It'd probably be one or the other.
But does it feel like these 2 groups, just scouting them alone, would take all the night?
Depends on how hidden you want to be. I mean, if you're going to really take your time, by the time you can get to a group, it's going to take you, an hour, 2 hours just to get to them. And then it's going to take you, to go slow and you do it right, it's going to take you 4 hours, take you another hour to get to the next group. So really, you can only investigate 2 groups.
All right, we'll just...
I would say we do these 2 starting with the one that's closest.
Okay.
So go ahead and are you all going up, or is there just a few of you going up?
I'm going up. In case they run into trouble.
I am going to, since they're both approaching, hang back a little bit. So just in case maybe they're already aware of our presence, I can at least signal them with a whistle or something that we're about to get the drop on us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
go ahead and make a stealth roll. The
Do you get advantage for sneaking at night? That's a thing in D&D.
I got a natural 20.
But you're not sneaking up ahead.
Oh, no, you were telling me. To
No,
still
I'm sorry.
put
I'm
stealth
just
roll
these
back
2.
there.
I mean, I think I get disadvantage. I don't think you get advantage.
Oh, okay. Wow!
16 I got.
That's really good. You guys want one of mine?
No, it's fucking retarded, man.
What'd you get?
1, so 7.
Yeah, that's still not bad. So you don't go by the way of crazy stealth, but make a perception check, the 2 of you who are up close. Oh, man.
Wow, 8.
16.
To both of your luck, it seems that whoever the guards were, it seems whoever's posted seems to be sleeping. So you are able to get a handle on this group pretty easily. It does seem to be a rather large group. You estimate it to be about the same size as the group that walked by you, if not a little larger. Along with, you do see there's the normal little goblin tents. I use tents loosely as it's mainly just like a blanket thrown over a tree and they're sleeping underneath. But there seems to be, whoever these commanders are, they actually have like proper fur tents which are set up, and attached to them you see in this camp there is like a wooden almost like a cage, and you see something large sleeping inside. It doesn't seem like this cage is meant to hold anything in, maybe just to pen something off. It doesn't look like, if it were the thing that you were walking by, you would suspect that whatever it was would easily be able to rip out of it.
So how many commanders would we say, like, of the nicer
tents.
the nicer
There's only one nice tent.
so.
You estimate that there's maybe 7 to 10 smaller tents,
Yeah.
blankets, and you assume in each one you see a different number in each of the little blankets. You see some that have 2, some that have 3, a couple that have 4.
2 to 4.
Oh, they're really snug in there.
They're goblins. They just kind of,
10.
it's just all bedlam for them.
I'm trying to get a numbers figure here.
Yeah.
So I've got 7 to 10 tents with 2 to 4 goblins per tent, cage that holds a large.
So you could assume that there's 20. If you're going by the law of averages, that'd be 21 goblins.
Yeah.
And then the commander would have 1. You don't know if there's anyone else in the commander's tents, and then there's also the cage.
Yeah, that's what I got on there.
I'm gonna slink away from this now that we got an eye on it.
I kind of, not gonna lie, kind of want to let loose whatever the hell's in that thing.
I mean, if it looks like it's gonna break out by itself, so the fact that it hasn't.
That's true. Might be very docile towards the goblins.
I'm just slinking away because I'm gonna go check out the other group unless somebody else does something.
Are we not able to silently take out these 2 guards that are supposed to be guarding the...
Oh yeah, and then on top of that, 2 guards. Yeah, 2 guards.
I mean, yeah, you can attack them, but there's always a chance that they could either wake up or sound or you could be too loud, or the person who could maybe do that.
We can't slice off their heads simultaneously.
What are coup de grace rules in D&D?
You just get advantage, or you just deal advantage damage when you attack. And then as long as you instantly kill them, it's a coup de grace. Or if it's whatever the breaking point is, and I think it's the Constitution modifier. If you can deal enough equal to their Constitution modifier, then you can you instantly kill them. But the problem is then you'd have to be cautious about trying to do it silently.
Yeah, that's another reason why I decided to hang back and just kind of get an overall panoramic view while you two are doing this, to make sure nobody sneaks up on you.
No, I'm slinking away.
Yep.
All right.
Check up these other groups.
Yeah, you definitely are able to get out, and so again, you're estimating about 21 guys, 21 goblins. You have the 1 commander, and the 1 creature. The next group is...
I come back. As I know, I stepped down a stick somewhere in there.
Oh yeah, you've made lots of noise. You weren't very conspicuous.
I went in there and then stepped on a really big stick, and I was just like,
shit.
Luckily for you, you're used to goblins making quite a bit of noise when they sleep.
There was some stroke of luck in that conflict, and I know it.
Goblin noises.
I look stressed at the moment,
Right. Then you spend another hour and a half making your way to the next camp, and this camp is even without getting too close, you can tell this is a completely different style of camp. You have guards not only posted, but they are moving. They're actually being sentries, and they are moving about the camp, around it, and you see not only the equivalent of the last camp's commander tent, but you also see a tent that is much larger, that towers over the other one.
So I'm just going to call it leader tent. 1 commander tent.
How many little tents from our position do we see?
It's hard to say,
Sure.
but you see the equivalent of what you saw at the other camp, if not more. Without getting into there to do the count, you would estimate it's about that much too.
Is there any trees or anything nearby?
Yeah, you're in the woods. This camp is in the middle of the woods.
Well, I look to you, and you seem to be pretty skilled at climbing trees. You did so earlier, so we'll see if you can get a peer into the tent from the tree line. You don't even have to go up near it.
I'll climb the tree. It's a good idea, actually.
Right, make a stealth check. See if you can do it stealthily.
Come on.
There you go. It's about time.
I was getting ready to be like, guidance.
Let's see if my sentries can do it. They get advantage because there's multiple of them doing multiple things. But luckily your roll will definitely beat it. You get up to the top of the tree and are perched, and you look out, and like I said, you see this large tent. It stands maybe 15 feet off the ground, and it's maybe 20 feet wide. It's definitely a luxurious tent, and it's not made out of the furs of the other tent. It's made out of heavy linen, maybe canvas.
I wonder if this is like the main group.
Sounds like it.
And then the commander's tent is right next door, or the captain's tent. You would assume it's made out of the furs. It only stands about 5 feet off the ground. And then you see, rather than like the other one where it was really haphazard, there's blankets all over the place. These blankets are all in line, and you see 3 rows of 12 blankets.
You got that? 3 rows of 12 blankets?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's going to be, so it's about 36 tents. And if it's going to be the same, I think roughly the same size.
It's hard to say from the vantage point in the tree. You can't tell. But you would also think that maybe with this one, it would be each goblin has their own blanket. If they're so strict about order in this one.
Yeah, okay, so average of 36 then on regular guys
with the
plus all the sentries.
Perception, could I try to see if there's another cage with a beast, or if there's like maybe a hobgoblin or a human?
Ooh, I didn't think of
21.
So all of the sentries are goblins.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a cage in this group.
Oh, that's good.
And you see from the doors to the general's tent is open, and you see multiple people moving around. It's hard to tell what they are, but you do see like more than one person in there moving stuff around.
So this
humanoid,
one
though?
Humanoid, yeah.
So this one's about twice the size of the previous group. So that's we're looking at least a 60 size group front between the two. So I can only expect at least 100 between the other groups easily. So we're looking at a small force here that's massive for something. Can we tell, like, are there different banners? Like, are these different goblin tribes?
It looks like they all wear the same type of equipment, and they all have the same type of there's maybe 3 or 4 different ones, but they're all commingled. They're not like that one was one, this one's another. Like they may have 3 or 4, but they're just kind of all intermixed. They kind of keep separate in the camp, but they're all together in the camp.
But besides like the shoddiness of the other one and how well kept this one is, they seem to be like the same. It's not like each camp we're seeing are different types.
Correct. Yeah, they don't seem to be different tribes. It seems like whoever's leading this one is either that impressive or that cruel or that important, or it seems like they don't take kindly to.
Yeah, I say this is the one we fuck up.
Right. I'm gonna climb down the tree and look at you as I cast a very obvious cleric spell on myself. It's Pass Without Trace.
Ooh, nice.
So, I'm just gonna tell you to hold on.
Hold on, chicken legs. What are you doing? Let's go, chicken little.
So for an hour, I have a +10 dexterity to my stealth.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to use the brush in the forest and really get an idea of what's going on, but I also want to see what's in that tent.
The main tent?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Just because I really want to make sure that there's not a random chance he does fail guidance anyways.
It's not a bad idea. He's going out by himself now, so.
Yeah. Good luck, chicken little.
So 1d4 that you get to add whenever you decide you want to use it.
And because I cast it within you guys, in case you need to be stealthy, you also get a +10.
Oh, so it's the group?
Blah, blah, blah. I'm asking you and your companions from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you has a +10 bonus to dexterity stealth checks.
Oh, well, if you're just staying within the shrubbery of the tree line and whatnot, yeah, we'll move as a group.
Right.
And I have a +16 when I use this.
And
so
instead of giving the guidance to you, I will give it to her.
I should know how good y'all stealths were. So.
We both have a +3 to our stealth.
Oh, okay.
Glad you used that pass without
24.
And I'm gonna go ahead and add my. Oh no, I guess on you. Yeah, I got a 12 plus 3, 15. Thanks for using that.
Oh my god.
So as you're going through,
5, 10.
8 and then 10. You got 18.
Yeah, thank you.
the sentries seem to start calling out, and they start pointing in your direction as they spot this big blue. Aren't you blue? What color are you?
I'm blue, but they don't see nothing blue.
They see this big beast, and you hear in the rows. It seems like there's maybe someone rousing everyone up, rousing up the war, and whoever is in the commander tent doesn't stir, but the one in the fur tent rushes out, armor clad, long sword drawn, in the fur tent, so the captain's tent, but the general's tent, the large 15-foot.
Quick question. I'm gonna try something really stupid here.
Way to go, you big old.
Well,
I was trying to go by myself.
They only see me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to do something really stupid here.
Oh jeez.
What was the general population of that town?
Of the town?
Yeah.
There was maybe, what did I say? There was maybe 250 people total.
Okay, what was the general, like...
They were all dwarves.
All door at a time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So only this dude that came out of the commander's tent is coming at me right now?
No, all the other goblins are waking up and starting to get going, but he's like ready to go.
Okay. Well, I peacefully step towards them with my lance just kind of like as a walking stick, and I separate myself from them.
Okay.
And then as soon as like the first one approaches me, I want to just like ask if I can parlay. There we go. That's the word I was thinking.
Oh my god!
I want to speak to the general.
Right, I mean...
I'm separating myself from you guys, okay? It's the only thing I can think of right now.
Thanks a lot, travel partner.
So the two of you are able to, using him as a distraction, you are able... Which way would you like... Are you
What, is
going to
this like
slip
another
away?
goblin in armor?
Yeah, it's like the goblin who was blowing the horn before. It's not the general, it's the captain. He hasn't approached you yet. It's that there's maybe 2 sentries there. They have spear points pointed at you, and there's the rest of the ones in the tents are starting to slowly amass, and the captain is like making a steady, angry stride towards you.
Retreat is always an option.
I just go, oops, fucked up.
Just a little bit.
So,
As I am over in the bushes shaking my head like, dumbass.
well, plan B.
So yeah, where are you two? Are you gonna stay put? Are you gonna like move along? What are you using his distraction for?
Fuck.
I initially was like, oh shit, to let them still scurry around.
Yeah.
So they can continue.
I just want to see what they do use it for. Because you've now roused the camp, and they're all looking at you.
Are they the occupants of the large tent still in there?
Yes, they have not exited yet.
I'm sneaking towards the large tent.
Okay. Yeah, especially with this distraction, you can even almost walk through the goblins because they've now, you can make it so you can like hop tent to tent closer to the big tent.
Walks right up high fives as he continues.
He gets like a handful of feathers. What? Let's go. Confused look on the goblin's face as he continues. The captain looks at you, and he's now abreast with you, 5 feet away, and he starts speaking at you in Goblin. Do you speak Goblin?
Can I? I haven't done my background stuff, but I know I'll get a bonus action from that. Can I make that one my thing? And
If you want Goblin to be your...
yeah, and I'll go ahead and just... I won't change it. I'll just make that a staple.
Okay.
So yeah, I magically speak Goblin.
Out of nowhere, you remember as a babe, Goblin was the words your mother talked to you in.
I grew up watching The Labyrinth, okay?
He's growling at you and asks... he doesn't ask. He tells you, surrender your weapons and your armor. You are now prisoner of my camp.
I have a counter offer. How about you let me join you?
Make a bluff check. A deception check is what it's called. Not bluff. Bluff is 3-5.
Deception?
Yes.
19.
The creature is a little confused. He's not used to dealing with someone who's trying to join them. Usually everyone just wants to kill them.
I want to, I asked you, like, can I demonstrate for you? Pick your worthless, your most worthless member here that you do not care about.
He is super confused about what's going on. Like, he's a little shaken, I guess, by you. He doesn't understand.
I want to show him my battle prowess.
No, I know what you want to do. He doesn't understand what he's very. He rolled very low, and he's very confused. He doesn't understand what's going on. I usually ask them, they surrender, and it's done. What do you mean you want to fight? I don't understand.
I want to work my way in the ring to shatter this shit.
He talks to one of the goblins next to him, and he says, "Go ask him what we should do." And he runs off towards the large tent. And as he does that, you see this little goblin run into the tent. Like, he runs up to the tent, he stops at the doorway and like bows in half and walks in, face towards the ground. And neither of you speak Goblin, correct?
No.
You hear it
Giant.
like mumble something in words you can't hear, and then you hear like a growl, like kind of like a cat's growl in return.
Can I try to stealthily take a peek at this conversation?
Sure.
Fucking A19.
That's good.
I fucking rolled a 3 again.
But that's why you got the passed out chase.
That's exactly why I did it.
As you like poke your head out, like you like grab the flap, and the flap kind of like half closes a little bit, and instantly whoever is growling like looks at you. So you get a quick look, and it looks like a large, like humanoid version of a cat. And then you slink back, trying to not get caught. I assume you run away.
Yes, definitely.
I'm not here.
So yeah, I'm supposed to be a master of stealth.
But you can't roll your stealth.
But I can't roll them. That's the annoyance.
Are you going to become the master of disguising next?
Master of getting fun.
I'm master of the stealthy.
Right, I got all I wanted. I'm going to try to slink off into the more darker areas and
make a either athletics or acrobatics. And what are you doing down there? Are you just following him, or are you also?
I was following him until he decided to.
Like the opening of the tent, is pulled aside, and he's like trying to like sneak on, and then he grabs the thing to like try to like look over, and it like unbuckles. And, whoa.
I see that happen, and I'm gonna retreat back into the woods and as fast as I can. And
for acrobatics.
Go ahead and make either an acrobatics or an athletics to just book it, because you're already stealth, so you can just run.
21. Nope, 20.
Yeah, the two of you just dash into the woods. You've made some sort of plan to meet up either back at Hornshook or in the woods somewhere, so you'll be able to find each other. But the goblin comes back
You're fucked.
to you, and
I do want to get to an area where I can see what's going on with him.
okay. So you kind of circle around. You wouldn't see this part though. And the goblin says to the leader, he says, "There's more people here. Kill him." And you obviously understand and hear that.
Yeah. Without
So what do you do?
without alerting anybody, I just quickly mutter the words for sanctuary on myself.
Okay.
So that way, when they do decide to attack me, they can't touch me yet.
Okay.
But I
Did you
just
do your fog thing?
I had that ready earlier, but that didn't. We didn't end up needing it. So, but yes, I do have that in mind just in case I need to make a quick exit. But they haven't heard anything about my request of showing off prowess.
No, they to their knowledge, he reported that there was someone else there. So now if that's all you're gonna do is just cast the spell.
I'm gonna ask him, did you see me enter with anybody else? You didn't.
At this point, he's not really listening to you. He's now following orders. So he's like raising his sword, and he's gonna strike you. So if you don't have anything, then we can go initiative.
Okay, yeah, I've got that's like a bonus action, so...
Yeah, you can cast. I'm just wondering if you're going to start running or if you're going to try to fight this camp.
Yeah, I'll probably, based off of how big they are... Yeah, I'm going to take off.
Okay.
Because this is not the guy I'm going to want to do something to.
Run,
Right.
Forrest, run!
Yeah, so as he raises his sword, he tries to swing at you, but you obviously have Sanctuary up.
Yeah.
And with that kind of like extra second, you're able to turn around and start your retreat.
Mm-hmm.
You're just, I assume, where are you booking it to?
Can you just do like a quick layout of
Sure.
what it looks like?
So, you mean as the camp? The camp is just like in the woods. So, you have, it's like a small glen in the woods. And you have like the large tent here. You have the commander's tent, which is significantly smaller here. And then you have the rows of smaller tents. You're kind of interacting in this area here. And there's just woods all around.
And how far is this set of woods away from the main town?
You're about 3 hours away from the town.
Okay. Where's the nearest exit that I can get?
Any direction.
Okay, so
You can just run.
is there any torches that are set up?
I mean, there's like a few bonfires. There's one big bonfire in front of the main two tents.
But no, like standing torches in the ground or
No.
nothing? Then... yeah, I book it into the woods and then I'll get my bearings from there and head back to the town.
Yeah, you guys would have set some sort of rally point to like meet up, and as you're running, you kind of see the shadow monk dashing through the trees as well.
What I will do, however, though, is will I run past any tents? Like any regular goblin tents?
I mean, you're there, so if you wanted to, you could go that way if you wanted to.
And these
But
are the 2 rows of tents?
those are 3 rows, but those are
yeah.
where they're massing. I mean, that's where all the goblins are being woken and coming towards you.
And
So you would have to run through them.
yeah, I'll just take off from here. So what I was thinking of just was if there was any sleep, I was just going to use my lightning breath to maybe catch the tents on fire. Just
Right.
maybe take out a few on my way out.
I mean, you still can. But if you take the action to do that, your sanctuary will go down.
Yeah.
And then they'll get an opportunity to.
I'm just gonna
attack you. Yeah.
Just dip out.
So as you're running, I mean, a few of them are. You hear arrows coming through the woods, whistling around you.
Well, there you go. We wouldn't have known there's a tabaxi in there.
But to your luck, the enemy is large and sluggish and is unable to pursue. You get a decent ways away, and you can tell that the camp is sending out parties around to like search to make sure that no one else can sneak up. But depending on how long you stay,
we down.
We're out of here.
Trying to. I don't know how long. It sounds like we barely entered the camp before getting caught.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to use that pass without trace.
Oh yeah, you have plenty of time.
Maximize to get away.
Yeah, and you're able to get away, and you meet up in wherever it is, breathing heavily as you're just like, what happened?
Just did a good job, guys.
I'm just thinking to myself, where do I find these guys?
The 7-foot one just acted like a tree and just walked around
the
ranch.
I'm the innocent one here.
She's got like 2 tree branches.
She's the only one that didn't mess up and was still putting out the danger.
Exactly, she was fine.
I'm the smart one of the group. He makes all the dumb decisions.
Well, honestly, if he would have mentioned that the whole group gets it, I would have been like, okay. And I was just like, the group gets it, sure, we'll just stick together. And then I was like, okay, maybe this will be my time to shine.
So next time you cast it, you can exclude him.
Don't add my character into stealthy crap. He doesn't belong there.
She did it that way in case you needed it to leave. When he went like this, he was hoping you'd stay.
Me too? Alright.
Obviously.
It's not my fault.
Now I know.
It's not my fault your character sucks at communication.
Ooh.
So what do you wish to I mean, it's getting to be early morning.
I was gonna say, did we?
You have enough time to you could go scout another camp, but if you go scout another camp, they may rouse while you're there, and then you deal with a waking camp versus a sleeping camp.
No.
Yeah. Well, we got the gist that it's not just goblins, and it's gonna be something big.
Well, there's only one camp that we don't really know what they are, or how many there are.
Right, because we did see the other group. We took out a really.
We saw the one coming down the middle.
There was 2 coming down the middle. You could tell that there's 2 separate groups.
So there's 2 sets of groups that we don't know.
So there's
but the other 3 we've.
No, we know the 2 from the left, and we know the 2 from the middle because we already saw
them.
Right?
You met one group, and then you heard another. You didn't physically see.
And then there's the one off. And then there's
one off the side.
So 3 of the 5 we have a general aspect of.
Yeah, one of them. 3 of them you've now seen in action.
I think we've seen enough.
Yeah, it's more than half the armada there. So
we go back to Hornshook.
I point at the map. Hornshook.
You're able to make it there just at first light, and the town seems ready are eagerly ready for an attack. You know, they have torches out, they have sentries posted, and
just running. The British are coming.
They see you, and they kind of give a cheer of excitement. It seems your deeds were passed about, that you are going to gather information and possibly killing some goblin folk.
Well, we didn't kill any.
You don't need to tell them that.
I know. I was gonna be like, we could just say we took out a small encampment. They don't need to know that.
You enter the town, and the guard captain immediately pulls you into his tent and asks to be debriefed.
So I'll pull the map out, and I'm gonna point at the first group we went to, and I'm pointing at you.
We don't speak Kenku.
No habla inglés.
So I'm pointing at the middle group. Remembering back to the initial conversation we had. Goblins, big beast. Mm-hmm. And I'm pointing at the left group. Goblins, big beast. And I'm going to point at the encampment up to the top. Goblins, no big beast. Is there other cats around this Dwarven area?
I mean, as pets, yeah.
You would know cats. You'd probably say big cat or
I have
something.
to mimic.
Yeah, he doesn't retain words. He has to mimic speech.
So like if like I frequently go about listening to people, so I can kind of like, all right, I'm gonna mimic this when I need
You can
it.
draw though, can't you? Sketch or anything?
So I am gonna point at a cat outside somewhere.
Sure, yeah. There's a cat walking around in the.
Big.
Oh, there's a big beast. I thought you said there was no beasts in that camp.
No.
Then what kind of?
Oh, he's the only one that saw it.
Human?
So.
Take out my paper. Leader.
They have a
They
leader in their camp and a cat.
Big cat is leader.
How does the humans
At this
confuse?
point, I start scribbling. With my very good handwriting.
Can I roll a
because-
performance check on his
Charades.
his game of charades?
Sure.
And am I right?
16.
Their leader is a big cat. And there's another group behind the middle group. We can only assume they have a group of goblins and a big creature, and we have no idea what's in the right group, but it's only one group, so.
Right. Yeah, he takes this. He's still a little confused, wondering why a big beast would be leading these goblins.
It's humanoid.
Okay, so yeah. Then he looks even more confused. He says, where would a cat human come from?
Cornelius?
No sign of Cornelius yet.
Cornelius smart.
Well, perhaps we'll meet with Cornelius and he can give us some help.
He's the smart one! I can try a knowledge check.
When a baby cat, when a mommy cat and a daddy cat.
Maybe where I come from, I've ran into that race?
Yeah, go ahead.
No?
No.
Can I assist with my travels?
Sure, you can see. I mean, you didn't see what it was, so you can't really.
That's true.
relate.
But
I mean, he's
based off of
he's describing a cat.
Yeah, but
A cat
I mean,
man.
based off that 12.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. But he then turns away from the Kenku and to you. What sort of numbers are we talking about?
I explained to him that the smaller camp that is close to town had about an average of at least around 20 goblins, maybe a little bit more, with a cage that held a beast. And I explained that there were 7 to 10 tents we found with about 2 to 4 goblins per, and some lousy sentries. And then at the bigger group, which we handled very well, very discreetly. As we were able to stealthily make our way through this encampment, not being seen or heard by anybody, we were able to deduce that there are large amounts of rows of tents, equally or easily doubling the size of the other encampment, and that this one might actually be the leader because there was the commander's tent and a very eloquent for these creatures tent. It was almost 3 times the size of the commander's tent there. However, I did not see whatever.
Yes.
Chicken Little here. So.
And how much were the group that you passed? How many were there?
The original one before.
Yes.
That one was about. I'd probably say it's around the same size as the group one, if I remember, because there was a couple rows and they had the big
There was
beast in
like
the
2
back.
rows of 6, a big beast in the back, and 2 in the front.
4 in front.
4 in front?
Mm-hmm.
So about 12 plus 4, 16 and a big beast.
So close to 20 average, since we don't know specifics. So they're definitely moving in nice little numbers. But there's about 5 that we know of. 5 groups.
This sort of numbers is something they may have attacked in this before, but obviously nothing as coordinated.
Yeah, they're definitely
Is
formulating something in this one.
I do not think horns, hooks, defenses on their own are going to be able to prevent this. But again, I don't have very much experience in this, so I would like your opinion. Do you think we should evacuate, or do you think we should try to hold up and defend here? Or should we partially evacuate, send the women and children out, and just hold every willing man willing to fight and make a last stand here?
Based off how many people did you say were here in this town roughly?
There's maybe 200 residents total.
That's just residents.
And that's just residents.
How
and
many
then maybe
women and children?
you could assume half or more.
Yeah. Based off of their numbers, I'm assuming they have at least 100 warriors. So compared to what they have here, being shopkeepers and other things like that, they're shoring up.
I mean, there are shopkeepers, but there's also, mill workers. There's also iron workers. So I mean, it's not like they're all wimpy. They are dwarves, and they're pretty proud about their fiscal.
I asked him how does he feel about retreating, but at the same time, you're not just going to let them take your town without paying a price. So before we leave, we set up kind of a little bit like my plan earlier. We set up just a giant trap for them that'll. You guys find a new home, yes, but they're going to lose a good chunk of people. Whether it's you just light this town on fire after covering it with oil and stuff, or
can't we lure them inside the town and then light the town on fire?
Well, that was my original suggestion: was lure them in, get the gates to close, and then just light the whole thing up while they're in it. And then, yes, they lose their home, but we have a home that they could go to. Well, you do. You have a home they could go to.
As he points to me, I'm going to pass him over a piece of paper.
Okay. He opens it.
And it'll say, you should evacuate the people to, what's the closest town to here?
It's just another no-name town down the way. It's the closest town he instructs is just another village about this size.
Well, I guess I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
So I would say, well, what was the closest village I would know of? Wouldn't it be
back towards Saren's Hold, back through the desert? Because this is the first town that you've encountered in this land now.
Well, that would be what I would suggest, since I don't know what anything else around.
Right.
So
Saren's Hold is more defensible.
I would ask.
Right.
I would suggest this.
It is 2 weeks away though, traveling through desert.
Does he know how? Ask the captain. How long is it if he was to go to the other nearest town, other than Saren's Hold?
I mean,
that other village you were just mentioning.
a day and a half away.
Isn't it Lavienne? He said was the main town.
Lavienne is the main town of this area is Vastwald, but the capital is really far away. There's a few other villages that they could split up and go to, which they probably would. They probably have family and friends there, which they could run to. But based on what's describing, this seems almost like an invasion.
Anyways, as it goes on, it says evacuate. The weak.
Mm-hmm.
Barricade the one entrance. Throw everything in front of it, so that you literally need a group of giant ogres to open that door.
Okay.
And then just barricade that front door, shooting arrows at people, oil pots with fire. And then when they do finally get through the door, it's a choke point.
Yeah, and he nods along and says, "Yeah, so you opt for a last stand." Well, I will have much to consider. I appreciate your advice. I like the idea of shutting down one door and concentrating on the other, but I fear that our walls may not be strong. He kind of points to it. It's solid, but based on the beast you describe, it seems they might be able to just rip right through.
Yeah, they almost sound like battering rams.
But
Especially
he,
if you can only have one person on the wall in each section. It's not very...
but he thanks you, and he hands you each a gold for your scouting service. I fear we may have some difficult decisions to make. I hope you stick around and cast your votes, but if you are to leave, I would not be surprised.
Oh, also, and then it's a messenger to ask for reinforcements. And then I would suggest Serenus Hole because that's the most fortified town I know of.
Yeah, but that's also 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
And these guys are literally a day's out from here.
Yeah, I mean, he says we can send word. We didn't expect that much based on our previous experience, so any notice that we would send out would probably, they would receive it as we were being assaulted. So
How long do I feel like? Do I feel like I have a moment to a short rest, or?
yeah, I mean, nothing's really like happening right now. So if you wanted to short rest, you could.
But I don't feel like it's proper time to sleep.
No, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, it's mid. You guys are tired. I would say you probably have a point of exhaustion, but it's,
Well, I mean,
there's kind of the heat of the moment of everything's going on, and they're asking you for your help. So sleeping now may not be the.
But a short rest should tide us over.
Yeah, everyone will gain a point of exhaustion though.
And short rest don't
if you
give
just
a
short
long
rest.
rest I get
Long
rid
rest,
of.
yeah. So if you want a short rest, you gain the short rest benefits, but also get a point of exhaustion. Or if you long rest, which is 8 hours, you can.
Can we estimate based off of the closeness of the groups that it's probably within the next day or two they're going to launch their attack?
You were 2 hours away from the closest group.
So yeah, I'm sure within the day or something.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
So a day or two from the furthest.
No, you were 4 hours away from that really big group in the back.
Yeah. The smaller group was only 2 hours away. So they're all pretty much within. They're all ready. They're probably just waiting for a certain moment.
So they're not attacking us all at the same time then.
Well, we don't know yet.
You're not really sure what their plans are.
I'm gonna take my chances and because it's been a while. I'm gonna take my chances.
It's been a while, yeah. So if
I'm
you,
gonna go to sleep. Figuring I'll get at least an hour's rest.
yeah, you can take a long rest. What about the two of you? Do you want your point of exhaustion, or would you like to take a long rest?
So is it a point of exhaustion even for a short rest?
If you take a short rest, you get the benefits of a short rest, but you get a point of exhaustion.
Right. And what does the point of exhaustion limit mean?
The number one, at level 1, you get disadvantage on ability checks, which is all your acrobatics, animal handling.
I write up a little sheet of paper. I, Maxwell Kirchhoff, vote for Last Stand. Barricading the doors.
Sure.
And choke pointing them. And
Okay.
put it on his table.
Nice.
I'll take a full rest spell and know that I'll stay behind and help out, no matter what the decision ends up being. But I vote for full evacuation.
Okay. And are you resting, or are you?
I am resting, but I vote for evacuation of women and children.
Okay, so you like the last stand option.
Yes.
Okay. So you're able to full rest. You're undisturbed for your 8 hours, and you awake to the captain or the guard captain pretty much just sweating. Like, he's just dripping sweat. He's very nervous. It's clear he's been waiting for you to. He didn't want to disturb you, but he's been waiting for you. And he says that the people have voted. The women and children are leaving, but we need your help. There are a vanguard of these goblins. The most of them are marching out of the woods now, but there's a group that is harrying the women and children as they're trying to leave, and we need you to assist them to get them out.
So pretty much guard them while they try to leave.
Yes.
Get up and stretch.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's guard these little children.
All right. So you leave and you're led to the gate going further into Vastwall territory, and you can see there's just groups of women and children huddled on the inside, bags, whatever belongings they can keep, and they're ready to dash out. You kind of open the gate a little bit, and you see groups of goblins, and arrows are hitting the door as you open it.
Oh, so they're just
before we leave. I would very quickly stay with them, escort them, or come back.
The guard captain says, either get them to safety or deal with the threat, so that way everyone can pour out.
How far is this group or couple groups of goblins that are spraying?
It looks like they're maybe 40 to 60 feet away from the...
And how many would we be able to tell with that quick peek,
With the quick peek, you could definitely tell there's two groups. The numbers in each group is difficult to tell with just a quick glance.
Okay. Are they small? Can I at least tell small, medium, or large groups?
They're one of them's a little bit larger of a group, maybe about the size of the group you fought in the valley, and the other one's a little smaller than that.
Okay. Is there a wagon or a cart that nothing too huge, but something that I or somebody else that's willing to volunteer could carry and push, kind of like a wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is I'll volunteer myself to do it. Is have somebody get ready to open the door since they're only that far out, and I'll give that wheelbarrow, so to speak, a good shove with a torch on it and a covered vase of oil.
Okay.
And I'm going to shove it towards the direction of one of the groups. And as it gets to it, I'm going to use Shatter because it reaches 60 feet, which will break the thing and pretty much try to cause a minor explosion to take out.
So, are you using a cart or a wheelbarrow?
Why wouldn't I?
I would like to
I
use.
got more strength than you do.
Well, you can do it too. Then I don't have to be the one to push it.
Right.
I would like to use a cart if that would work better because a wheelbarrow is not really gonna. I don't think make it 40 feet.
Sure. You ask for one of the villagers, and they oblige after hearing your plan. So they start unburdening it with all their belongings, and they have to make the hard choices of what they're actually going to take now that they no longer have a cart to carry with them.
Yeah.
But they surrender the cart to you, begrudgingly.
And I toss whoever it is that does it.
Oh, nice.
My money's that I earned.
They happily take it.
What a hero!
So are you gonna be the one that goes out there?
I'm gonna be the one that pushes this cart.
I'm
gonna climb up. You said there's a little peak.
Yeah, you would have a spot where you could sit above if you chose.
Because I just want to get up there and camp behind the wall. Because as soon as waiting for them to open the door, and I'm gonna cast a minor image to help them out.
Okay.
You don't necessarily need to. I was gonna cast Sanctuary on her, so the attacks.
Huh?
I was gonna cast Sanctuary on her, and she steps out and shoves that wheelbarrow.
Oh, well, if that's gonna protect her completely, then
Well, yeah, because if they would have to make a Wisdom save. If they weren't able to make the Wisdom save, they'd have to choose another target.
But if they make the Wisdom save, she'll still get attacked.
I don't think. Hold on, I'm right here. Let me just double read it before I say something that's wrong. You ward a creature within range against attack until the spell ends. Any creature who targets a warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a Wisdom save. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target or lose the attack or the spell. The spell doesn't protect the warded creature from area of effects, however. So, I mean, it is possible she can still get hit, but they have to make that save first. I guess. So, it would benefit her still.
Sure, I'm still gonna help out with that.
And that's fine. So I would do Sanctuary on her, instruct her to shove the cart with the
And him being on top of the
as soon
wall
as
to direct me as to where
they
to shove
open the
it.
door and she goes to shove it, I'm gonna cast the sound of a wolf behind the goblins.
A wolf howling.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
to just distract them.
Cool. All right, so go ahead and make a athletics check to push that cart.
25.
Okay, and what do they need to do for the minor illusion? I think it's just a wisdom save, or a... Something save.
If the creature uses action to examine the sound or image, the creature can determine that his illusion with a successful intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC.
Okay. So you have a group. As you push open, you find yourself being stared down by 12 goblins, all with arrows. And luckily for you, your friend is helping you and making a wolf sound, and half of them...
Oh, I thought that was...
Half of them turn...
Sanctuary.
Half of them turn to look to see the sounds of wolves. The other half are just concentrated on you. So you have 6 attacks coming your way. But I'm going to make my saves here.
Yeah. Being wisdom saves.
And what is my goal?
13.
I do that. So three of them like pull the draw at you and just kind of stop. The other 3 go through with their attack. What is your AC?
16.
One of the arrows, 3 arrows come at you. 2 of them pepper the cart. The third one hits you for 8 damage. But you are able to push the cart towards the larger group of goblins. They're split up into 8 and 4.
And then as it reaches them, you shatter on the vases, which is a sudden loud ringing noise that's painfully intense. It erupts from that point, so each creature within a 10-foot radius is going to take 3d8 thunder damage, with it being a wisdom save to take half, and then the vase, because it's my target, will shatter.
Sure.
And then, like I said, cause explosion.
Yeah, well, that's a level 1.
It's a level 2.
Okay. So there is 6. 6 of the 8 are close enough to be hit. And what do they need to make?
Wisdom.
12 again?
No, it's 13.
13.
Isn't you supposed to say 14?
Oh, that's from the war. I never erased that off there.
Okay.
So 2 of them saved.
Okay, so... So 12 damage, and then it would be 6 on a save, and then like I said, the jar explodes with the fire. So because that was the the one I just said was the thunder damage from the spell itself.
Sure. The two of the goblins are just like caught on fire and then thundered, and they're dead. They just fall to the ground dead. The other 4 who were hit by it take some damage and start scattering, and that group of 8 pretty much start routing towards their allies that are massing in the field.
Okay.
The other group of 4 see it, but continue peppering you.
So it's just one group of 4 now?
It's just one group of 4. And so now, if you have an action... Well, no. If you have an action.
Do we do initiatives at this point?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Hey!
I got a 9.
That.
24.
There you go. Well, natural 20, so... I'm the only one
What'd
to
you get?
roll it.
Excuse me. So 7 plus the initiative, so
10.
3. 10.
Alright, so Nick, you get to go first.
I'm not sure how cover works. I'm going to attempt to... No, I'm going to attempt to use the cover I have where I have the vantage point and try to shoot them
Okay.
with my short bow. I rolled 17.
That hits.
What is it? Short bow is a d6 plus 4.
Are we not? We're not on the
7.
40.
No, that ended.
So I'm not sure how cover works in...
Yeah, you just get... if you have probably 3/4 cover because you're ducked in behind. So you get +5 to your AC against attacks.
Cool.
And then the other, it goes the avenue. The avenue.
8, so 14.
Not enough. You run up to one of the archers, and they jump out of your way of your great sword. Then we go to Balazar.
Yeah, I will charge out just 10 feet prior to one of them and try to gut him with my spear.
Sure.
Can we guess this might be that one smaller group we never saw? Unless there was more than the 5 groups we heard.
You guess that this is just a part of those bigger groups, and it's just like a harrying party. It's not actually led by anyone. It's all it is just goblin archers coming to slow down the exit.
16.
That hits.
With 14 damage.
Yeah, you're able to lance him down very easily, and the rest of the 3, seeing their friends die, also disengage towards their comrades, eager to get behind.
I want to try to take pop shots as they're
So
disengaging.
just quickly, let's say this part here was marking the exit of the group. This was the small group, and that was the big group.
Sure.
So they scattered which direction?
They're massing battle lines over here.
Battle lines towards the back.
Yeah. So this is the town's over there, right?
Yep.
So this is where all the goblins are. They're starting to form up around the town,
Okay.
and these were just small little groups trying to cover the exits.
So where are the people going? What direction are they
They're going this way.
Okay, so that group already took off.
Yeah,
that way.
so the exit's now clear. You have now
So
successfully...
How many shots do I get as they're disengaging?
You can do one, because they go pretty fast when they disengage.
So 21 to the one I hit already?
Yeah, that's it.
8.
Yep, you just, do a long... sinks into him as he's running away.
So what I want to do then is...
So did they not block off the entrance then? Like the plan? Like we said they should?
Not this one.
They block off here.
The other one's blocked off though. And they're going towards that entrance.
So, yeah, so there's... On this side, this is the way towards the nearest town for these people to escape to. So they are running now.
Right, and so they blocked off this entrance over here, which just so happens to seem like they're going that way towards that entrance.
It seems like...
Or it's just, this is where the army currently is.
It seems where one army group is. It seems like they're massing. This is where you were directed to help protect.
Well, I kind of point to both of them then, and we kind of form a line, blocking anybody from bull rushing in. As they kind of go that way, we kind of stand as a line in front of them.
Yeah, you kind of make yourself a sentry to where if anyone tries to come up on you, again, it seems like the army isn't charging you. It seems like they're setting up their camp. It seems like they're.
So these guys are a good ways away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
The group we just helped seems to be pretty good on their way then.
Yeah, they're fleeing. It's refugees.
Did it seem like the guard captain wanted us to go with them to make sure they got there, or just to take care of this group?
From what he was saying make sure that either they can get out, escort them if you need to, otherwise just clear away what threats they're having. And it doesn't look like the army is sending anyone to pursue them. It seems like they were just harrying this exit to not make anyone flee.
Are we able to evacuate the women and children now safely?
Yeah, they're already pouring out of the gates. As soon as you killed or routed the last couple goblins, they started. They're not waiting for you. They want to get out of there.
There you go.
That's a war zone.
I'm just gonna keep an eye until they're all completely gone.
Yeah, like Balazar said, he's kind of posing intimidatingly, lance ready, and the two of you are kind of at his flanks and just kind of they're funneling out behind you. And a lot of them, they start praising you and giving you thanks and
where's my gold piece?
calling you saints of whatever.
Maxwell's just
you're just standing behind this burning cart and dead goblin bodies. It's a rather horrifying scene.
I'm gonna point at the burning and give you a thumbs up.
After about go ahead and make a perception to see if you can see what's going on the other side of the line. No.
I have a 20, not natural.
18.
13.
Perception?
17.
Yes.
Yeah, 18.
All three of you can see that it seems that they're striking up camp and they're starting to make defensive fortifications on the outside of the forest, and that they are making a essentially fortified camp to lay siege to this town.
Oh, they're here for the long haul.
But are they still using the forest as coverage, or are they?
So the forest is like behind them.
Okay.
And they're like right outside of the forest. They've set up their tents. They're laying stakes into the ground. They're laying siege to this town.
And they're a pretty good distance away then, though.
Yeah, you can estimate they're probably about 200 to 300 feet away.
Well, they're either going to attack under the cover of night, or they're going to just hold off until the morning.
Well, it's morning.
Yeah, you just woke up.
Well, right, but if they're setting up camp
Or
right
sorry,
now,
it'd be more like noon since we went to sleep.
Yeah,
during
you're
the
right. You
morning
did
time.
So yeah, you went to bed at the crack of dawn. So yeah, it's probably about noon, and they're setting up camp.
that's why I'm thinking they're not going to attack right away because they're still setting up. It's why I'm thinking they're going to attack under night. They're going to probably play the long game, and we're going to be tired from their constant pecking at us, not giving us a chance to sleep, and then they'll attack at night at our weakest.
So you know what a siege is.
Oh, I'm very tactical when it comes to this crap. That's why I'm like,
I'm gonna go back to the general.
Okay.
And does he have like little figurines to show him the army or whatever?
Yeah, he kind of just gives you a drawing on the map.
he pulls out his Dungeons and Dragons
If
collection.
if he doesn't have it, I'm just gonna like.
So he denotes that this is the town, right? He said the road runs like this. This is the direction that the refugees are fleeing. To the west, this is the line break of trees. From what you can tell, what you just reported, it seems there's a line amassing there. There's a large center, and then another one here cutting this road off. This one you would assume, by the way you described it, is two of the groups you described.
That's the only spot that these goblin hordes are amassing. It's
Correct.
not correct all the way around.
Correct. This is where they are drawing their battle lines.
I'm
So
I'm just gonna head out and I'm gonna start. The walls of the place is now you can just walk around.
Of this place?
Like the whole
The
town.
town? Yeah, you can walk around Hornsook if you wanted to.
Like on the wall area.
No, you can't. No.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk to like each different spots, going up to
Mm-hmm.
the lookouts. I'm just gonna look out to see because that doesn't look like all of the groups we saw.
Correct.
So I'm gonna try to see if the other groups are hiding elsewhere.
Make a general perception check. Or just use your passive.
14.
Okay. Yeah, using your perception.
perception.
Your perception. You can tell that the fifth battle group that you assume is out there is not spotted anywhere around the town.
Definitely make sure the captain's aware of that.
The fifth group that we didn't know about.
Because you never physically saw it. You did hear horns of it, but you never physically saw it. So
Wondering-
you assume it's there, but you've never seen
I'm
it.
wondering if
I'll
that's
come
the
back.
group that.
Does the captain have all this information written down? And
Yeah.
then fifth group like question mark?
Yeah, I mean, you describe it to him, and he says, we'll add it to the board, but we don't...
So I'll point at the fifth group and just.
Yeah. He sadly says that we don't have eyes on it either.
How
We've been
many-
searching for it.
How many guys does he have for this town? That between the men that are staying and the actual like guards and sentries, how many does he?
We have 58 able-bodied men willing to stay and fight.
Between both, like the villagers and the guard.
Yes.
So I'm getting on like full tactical mode right now. So
Maxwell's gonna. People, safe. And then pull out the gold piece. With like a big gleam.
As in, what are you implying? Oh, you want to be paid? Yeah, let's worry about the town first, and then you money grubbing people. I have a town to defend here, Birdman.
I
Jeez.
really wish Cornelius would be here right now.
I have a magic sword to rune up, okay?
58.
I just like shrug like, like I knew that was gonna.
Yeah.
Does that 58,
that was gonna.
Does that 58 include us three?
No.
Okay, so that's 61.
If you choose to stay and defend.
I still go for the lure them all into the town now that they're all massing around the town. Lure them inside, light the town on fire.
We should definitely have that as a backup.
So as you the day approaches, you've spent now a few hours getting things ready, and you see.
Can we put some traps out front?
I mean, they have the field. They have the field.
So there's
they
a
can
chance.
see.
Yeah.
You can't.
I just know if they're 300 feet away.
I mean, but it's open ground.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah.
Even if they can see us putting traps out there, it would still slow them down.
True. Before you make the plan to do so, and you see a group of goblins heading towards the camp. It looks like a group of 5, and they don't carry a white banner, but it's clear that they're not coming to attack. They're coming to negotiate terms. And by the look of it, they appear to be just goblins. It looks to be like it appears to be like a captain and four of the like normal looking goblins. So one of the larger looking guy, not your cat man that that apparently is out there. The captain of the guard says, "Where's your cat man?"
Cat man.
I point at the big army. Hey.
So, who does he want to go meet him?
The captain says, "Well, obviously I will lead it. Do any of you wish to accompany?"
I'll accompany you.
One of these could be one of the 5th group we don't know about.
It could have merged.
And then, because there's 5 groups total, the leader could still be way back there yet.
Right. It's possible. And they're just sitting back there. But I'll go shoulder to shoulder with the captain.
I'm going to be on the wall, ready to support them in case they try to do something dumb.
Sure.
You want to be on the other side? Look like a really tough group. Just fucking walk up.
I'll go with
Hercules versus your best fighter.
I'll go with the group with him and the captain.
Sure. The captain pulls.
Because I am an intimidating force.
Right.
She-Herc versus your tabaxi.
I smush you with my thumb.
The goblin, the guard captain obviously doesn't speak goblin, so he ends up kind of speaking through you. The goblin says, surrender your town. Surrender your town and submit to being prisoners.
So I'll relate it. That's what he says.
And the guard captain says, well, that's obviously not something we want to do. Let's not be slaves to these goblins.
I ask in Goblin why this is why there's this feud.
The goblin looks confused and just says, "War is war. These are my spoils."
Oh, so they're just land hungry, so to speak, and just wanting to take the shit. No real specific reason.
That he's giving you.
No, true.
What's
Is there, besides you just taking this over, which you definitely look like you have been prepping for a while, is there a way that this place could compromise to you in, for example, not to say this is the way, but a taxpayer, so to speak, a way to share spoils or hunting grounds or coexist in a manner where you can possibly aid each other instead of wiping out a possible ally. You can get something from them that they might.
He
doesn't recognize me at all, does he?
No.
This is not the guy.
No, this is a different guy from the He is clearly not in the position to accept anything less than a complete surrender. The idea of having a tributor to their kingdom is alien to them, and they want war. They have the army, and they intend to use it. And that is more or less what he says, except more angry and more, we have army, we kill you.
I look at him and I just like, look here, you little fucking shit. You are in no way capable of organizing something like this. So why don't you run back and let the big boys come out and discuss what happens.
Go ahead and make a intimidation.
18.
Can I also make an intimidation?
Sure, you can assist him. You can growl.
16 plus.
21. Nope, 20.
Yeah, you're able to aid in the intimidation. He's kind of taken aback, but it's clear he's the kind of creature who doesn't want to back down to a fight, so he kind of like steps into it and says, we will send our big men. And he turns and starts walking away.
Small little worlds coming from small little people.
It's true. He is not really the tallest of creatures. But he walks away.
I explained to him that I offered a peaceful resolve with land and whatnot, just keep him apprised of how the conversation went, and that I told him that we wanted to speak to the big head honcho, and he got pissed. So he said he's going to send big people out. Don't exactly know what that means.
Well, quickly, let's get inside and prepare for the worst. I'm afraid this is going to be a long few nights.
So there's no coup de grace in 5th edition.
It's the you deal maximum damage.
Yeah, it's just
a
crit.
It's essentially the same thing.
A crit with advantage.
Pretty much. Like, yeah, you just automatically crit on him.
All right. Well, Horn's Hook is being faced down by quite a large force, and these 58 guards are all lining the walls. It appears they're all positioned. They have a few people watching the outside where there's no one stationed, but the majority of them are lining and preparing themselves. It's hard to tell what the goblins are doing in their camps because they are so far away, along with, they're putting up either screens or they're doing something to mask their movement. And it's late at night when everyone is resting, and it's clear the goblins are not attacking as they set up their camp. They start their fires. It appears that they have set in. And this is when you find Cornelius and Morik stumbling their way into town through the unbarricaded gates.
What's going on, guys?
Are they drunk?
And
high fives a goblin on his way over. What's up?
And that's where we're gonna leave it. So, yeah, thank you for playing, guys, and can't wait to see what happens on the Siege of Horn's Hook.
I like how you just roped them into this. They're gonna come back in 2 weeks. What the fuck?
They're literally going to be like starting right at the edge of town. And so, hey, yeah, you see you guys, they're armed, they look a little aware for what's been going on. Why are you guys staring at us like that? Turn around.
I can't wait.
Well, thanks for watching, and we're Dudes of Divination, and we'll see you next time, and we'll see you at the table.